What day is it?
Tuesday?
Tuesday night! His ghost returns to wreak his horrible vengeance.
Oh, but tonight's Tuesday night.
Then he'll be coming.
Tropical storms making landfall here in the U.S. now this week. Fifth named system making landfall just here in the state of Louisiana. The 11th across the U.S. here, just this hurricane season. And we're still dealing with some more as well. So some people have tried to venture out.
And all these mountains.
This is the way.
This is the way.
If you're making it and the fans don't dig what you're doing, I don't know that I could keep doing it. A big part of it is that you want to connect. You want to connect with the fans. When you're taking on something like Star Wars, I didn't create Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars, and so you want to make sure you're servicing it in a way that's respectful to what came before, and in a way that is hopefully delights the audience and the fans.
This is the way.
This isn't even the biggest one.
In downtown New Orleans, then you're looking north side up at Lake Pontchartrain there. We're going to get back to Paul here in a little bit. Give the guy a breather. He's been out there to get the hammer.
Say, kids, what time is that?
Tonight's Tuesday night.
And welcome to our fourth night of Tuesday Night Mayhem. Hello. We've got a couple of noobs with us here tonight, Pete.
Yes, we do. Up there and over there.
Yes.
I got it right this time.
We go around the horn and let's introduce them. First, let's start with our lovely friend on the top here, Mr. Paul Harriet, the Wrench.
The Wrench.
Can you
Pete, I'm doing.
Can you explain the name, please? What's the Wrench all about?
The wrench is when you want to fuck up the works. Throw in the wrench.
Nice. Now we'll hop right below me here. Introducing Lady Geek Time, the lovely, the effervescent, the bubbly Stacy Wilbur. How are you, Stace?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome. I'm happy you're with us.
Me too.
I've been wondering when you were going to finally make your appearance, and here we are. So
It's happening.
let's make this work. And of course, our stalwart, our weekly. I don't know. What are you? The voice of reason, Pete? You are you're like the logic master. Peter Bradley.
Peter Bradley, yeah. When I do pipe up, yes.
You are a connoisseur of all things nerd, shall we say?
Yes. I definitely have some opinions on some of the things we're going to discuss tonight.
Oh, I know. I started collecting things last Thursday or Friday night, and I'm like, well, it looks like one of those average weeks. And then, oh my God, the stuff just keeps pouring in. I know Edson will be along later, so I want to save some of the comic stuff for when Edson shows up. I don't know if Jude's coming or not, but if he is, then he can hop right in. I don't know. Where do you guys want to start? I'm thinking, let's start with. I'm sorry. Give me a second here. Today is my first day.
I made notes.
You made notes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a nerd. Sorry.
You're doing better than I am. Alex Trebek.
Oh,
There you go.
That's
Yeah. So
that was sad.
what's this? Who's this? This pop-up window. Go away.
It's
Is
Costner.
that Kevin Costner? He looks old. Anyway.
He is old. I just saw that movie with that. He's in with Diane Lane.
Wow. That's
With
right.
Martha?
It's a movie.
Yeah, I went to the movies.
Tense. It's Martha and Jonathan. Remember?
That's right. Save Martha.
Nobody remembers because Man of Steel was so bad.
Oh.
What about Waterworld?
Well, that's
That wasn't Diane Lane.
Oh.
Yeah. We're talking
No,
about.
they're a very nice old Midwestern couple in the 60s. Like,
Is that what it is?
It's really intense movie called Let Him Go. It's came out last weekend.
Is it in theaters or is
It's
it
in the theater? Yeah, I saw it in the theater. Mm-hmm.
And you went to the theater to see it?
I did. I try to go as often as I can.
I do too.
I love the movies. I bought a special pass for our Mystic Luxury Cinemas, so I can go to any movie I want for a year. But who knows if they'll keep showing movies? I don't know.
I know. We talked about that a few weeks ago about how the theaters are, and they're asking for help from the studios, and the studios are laughing at them.
It's crap.
It's these studio heads. If I had a nickel for every stupid decision they made, I mean, the idea that they think streaming is their salvation now, but they're already like years too late. And they don't understand their audience either. It's the idea that millennials don't pay for things, they don't buy things, and like Pete's pointed out, they'll just keep sharing accounts. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So Alex Trebek, man, we knew it was coming.
Not wholly unexpected, but still sad nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I pulled this article from Variety because I just love the they did a little photo montage through these, so
a
it's
retrospective,
kind of
as it were.
It's a good word, a retrospective. Yes. So see, this is why you have to be here. So I just figured it'd be fun to look back through the years at them. I mean, it's hard to believe because, you ever notice like through time, people just in your mind, they don't change, right?
Right.
But then, I see something like this and I remember, oh my God, that's what he looked like when I was in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hair and the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, if you remember the way the first host was, which is Don Pardo, he looked like a school teacher, big guy, gray hair on the sides.
Oh.
And in comes Alex looking like a porn star.
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
70s. Yeah, the porn star mustache. Look at him. I mean,
he's got the Magnum PI thing going here. I mean, this was probably in the 80s, right? I think I heard that his career took off. He was 46 years old when he got his first game show.
Really?
There's hope for all of us then.
Right. Yeah. So 81 to 83. So yeah. I'm going to date myself. I was a freshman in high school in 83. And there he is on Jeopardy in 85. And again, like in your brain, it's always looked the same, but,
but it's definitely changed.
It definitely has. There he's in 84 with Betty White.
Woo!
That's when Betty White.
She is.
She was in her 80s then, I think.
Wow.
No, she was. She's in her 80s now, isn't she?
That was the joke, Pete.
Damn, she looked good for 80.
A little interesting tidbit about Betty White. She is literally older than sliced bread.
Yeah, I think I saw that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those memes that goes around. Apparently, she was born a few years before sliced bread was created.
Pre-sliced bread.
She was born somewhere around the time the Declaration of Independence was signed.
Yeah.
The national treasure.
Yeah, she really is.
Yeah.
God bless Betty White, man. You know what's funny though?
Jude is on the comments.
Oh, he is?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Get on here, Jude. So yeah, Alex was a hockey player, as most of the Canadian celebrities like Michael J. Fox and Justice Beaver are.
Justice Beaver. Dwight Schrute.
Dwight Schrute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what he said. He said Justice Beaver in the episode of The Office.
That's where I got it from.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I was referring.
Who's Justice Beaver? He's a fights crime.
He looks like Gabe Kaplan in that shot.
He does.
Oh my God, he does.
The quaff is a little out of control right there.
That was that whole era where they got like the Mike Brady perm and they had the mustache.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have one, Paul? Did you have a porno stash back in the day?
Who?
I'm hearing echo.
Oh yeah, I'm hearing it.
I'm hearing it. No, I'm not hearing it.
No, only when you talk, Keith.
It's only when you talk, Keith.
There,
Somebody else is in the
I have
room.
to do this trick where I go into the microphone settings and have to
Mess with it.
Did it go away?
Yeah, the funny thing is, your mic will work just fine during the week, and then you hop on here and all hell breaks loose.
No, I've figured out this trick because even when Edson and I do our football show, that because I joined first after everybody's in, I have to go back, change the microphone setting, and then pick it again, and it works fine. I don't know why, but so the echo's gone, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, Cheers. Who doesn't love Cheers?
Was he on Cheers too?
Yeah, right there.
Holy oh, there he is. I thought that was Gabe Kaplan with.
Yeah, no.
He was on the Golden Girls.
You're stuck on the Gabe Kaplan thing, man. So,
90210. That's
90210.
Wow. On the X-Files?
There he is on the X-Files.
Was he acting as himself, or was he a character?
Looks like he was a doorman, or
I think it says on there that he was a character. I think.
But that would help if we read, right?
I read it earlier.
Wow. He appeared on Jose Chung's From Outer Space. Is that even what kind of title is that? Jose Chung's From Outer Space.
I've never 1996. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, that show.
Yeah.
There he is. There's where he should be.
There he is. Yep. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I watched this on a flight one time. This documentary, Game Changers. It's really good about game shows and.
Oh, okay.
Good. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Watch. Florence Henderson.
Mrs. Brady.
Mrs. Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And there he is.
Another Emmy? Come on,
year.
Alex.
Last
Leave some
year.
Emmys for the rest of us.
So, yeah. What a shame, man. I mean,
yeah,
definitely a national treasure. We just did Sean Connery. Was it last week or the week before?
Mm.
And, now that Saturday Night Live sketch with Burt Reynolds, Sean Connery, and Alex Trebek, takes on a whole new.
And don't forget Burt Reynolds.
I said Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
He did say Burt Reynolds.
Or did I say Turd Ferguson?
No,
Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson is funny name.
Have you looked up who's been being talked about who might replace him?
No, have you?
I did. I looked it up today. Like the New York Post.
Steve Harvey.
No, they gave some. It didn't really say they were really being talked about. I guess he had joked one time about Betty White taking over, but I don't know if she's actually being considered. But the people that were mentioned in the article were George Stephanopoulos. I wrote this down somewhere. What's Ken Jennings, who has like the personality of a dish rag. I mean, he might be one of the smart, a very smart guy, but some guy, Alex Faust, he's like a commentator for the LA Kings. I don't know.
Okay.
And a lady, a CNN analyst named Laura Coates. Those are the people. I mean, I just looked it up because I was curious because who can carry the torch? Like, I can't imagine someone else doing that show.
What I'm curious about is after the coof, I was watching Family Feud at my mom's with her the other night, and I stopped by and they're winning $20,000, $30,000. That's probably not going to happen after this, right? I mean, I can't see them holding these game shows and giving away tens of thousands of dollars every day.
I don't know. Sponsors still have money, don't they? I mean, people are buying lots of toilet paper, so those companies must be doing really well.
That's a good point.
Right?
And big tech, this episode sponsored by Facebook.
Seriously. I mean, there are industries that are making money, so that's who will be the, advertisers, I would imagine.
As if Mark Zuckerberg would let go of a penny.
Well, he does use his money towards like good stuff, like his outfits and his haircuts and stuff. So he's got
his garage
his side job is a data impersonator.
I'm sure. I don't even think he's real. If anything you've seen him in at these hearings and stuff, I think he looks like an android or some kind of not real person. Wow.
Or worse, Jack Dorsey from Twitter. Have you seen that toad?
No, I don't think I know.
God, he looks like Osama bin Laden.
I don't think. He kind of looks like an uglier Brad Pitt that lived in a cave for
Jack Dorsey.
Let me see if I'll look him up. I'll find him.
All right, because I don't know if I've seen what he looks like.
He's
Ted Cruz,
bearded.
and let's face Ted Cruz is a jerk off, but Ted Cruz eviscerated Jack Dorsey, just killed him.
I want to see him get a win. I don't want to see him get a win.
It was good though. I mean, he was spot on with it. Let's see.
And I love the way he just sat there like, I don't know that.
Yeah, he was just like, that's Jack Dorsey.
Oh, he doesn't look well.
No. No, and he couldn't really even answer any questions. It was
he couldn't
comb his hair.
not to.
Tide Pods Ultra Oxy.
There you go. See, there you go, people.
There he is.
Eat Tide Pods. I'll wait for the ad. Scroll. Oh, you suck.
There he is. Oh, he just fell in the mud.
Yeah, this is great. We're advertising for Tide Pods on this week's show.
Yummy, delicious Tide Pods now in mint.
Feel free to cut a check to GeekTime TV. You're welcome, Tide Pods. But yeah, he I can't skip through this video? Like there's no play bar? What the hell's that all about?
There's a pause.
Oh, here it is at the bottom. Yeah, I'm new.
No, they have tricks like that, I think, so that you think you can't.
Right.
Pattern of censoring
I don't want to watch the whole thing.
Number 2.
Please, it's torture right there.
He actually.
There he is.
We didn't want
Luke Skywalker really let himself go.
limiting the spread of materials that are hacked. We didn't want Twitter to be a distributor for hacked materials. We found that the New York Post, because it showed the direct materials, screenshots of the direct materials, and it was unclear how those were attained, that it felt that.
So basically, the gist of it is that, Twitter was pulling down anything that would affect the left narrative and leaving anything from the other side up. And that's censorship. And, Ted Cruz is right. And, whatever side you're on doesn't matter. It's about censorship. And this guy had no answer for it. He was just like, he's like, no, you're clearly, censoring one side of a narrative. As it goes on, Dorsey's just tripping all over himself. Well, our policy is it was sad. It was sad. It's sad when Ted Cruz romps you.
He is pretty smart. I'll give him that, though. He does have. They should all be grilling all of these social media outlets in such a bigger way.
I agree. I think it's time for some regulation.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Especially after that documentary that you watched.
Which one? Social Dilemma?
Yeah.
That's the one.
And The Great Hack. Have you watched that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's kind of focuses on the Cambridge Analytica Trump campaign and Brexit. Like, it's really, really, really insightful. It goes along with the Social Dilemma, totally.
The internet is
bad,
evil,
cesspool. It's a cesspool, man. It really is.
Wretched hive of scum and villainy.
It is a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Should I change our background from the Death Star to Mos Eisley? Okay, where do you guys want to go? Where do you want to go? I mean,
I just want to say
about wretched hives of scum and villainy. We've got a lot of it tonight.
Did you know the theme to Jeopardy was written by Merv Griffin?
Huh?
Was it really?
Huh? Yes. Him and his wife came up with and of course they came up with the show itself. Merv Griffin.
It's Merv Griffin production. Yeah. I thought Barry Manilow. I know Barry Manilow did a lot of those jingles too.
He did the American Bandstand one.
Right.
Woo! Let's go out and get that CD tonight.
I'm telling you, one of the best.
Those songs are in my head.
CD.
One of the best.
God, man, haven't you heard of downloads?
No, like I said, buy the stuff in your hand.
Yeah, weren't you watching last week, Pete, with Amazon? You don't own your stuff. You buy something from Amazon, they take it back.
That's right, man.
What do you mean they take it back? You buy it from Amazon, they can take it back?
Yes,
they can.
Yeah, if you purchase a movie or music or whatever from Amazon, it's a limited license because the record company or the movie studio could at any time end their deal with Amazon, and if they do, go on.
So Jaws that I downloaded and paid like $8 for, they could take it away from me?
Correct.
That's messed up.
Yeah, we did that topic last week, and it's just another argument for physical media. So I started already going out and buying CDs of anything I've already bought on iTunes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Really? Ugh.
Yeah, because I don't want one day to, all of a sudden I try to play a song on my iPod or something, and it says, you don't have the license for this anymore.
That's true. I know. I was actually recently considering getting a Blu-ray player because I have a crappy old DVD player, and just kind of in case for for whatever reason. But that's kind of a good argument to do that.
Do
Yeah.
it. Do it.
Everything that I cherish is on optical media.
Mm.
For the simple fact too, if the internet goes out,
That's
I
what
can
I'm
walk
saying.
over to the shelf and there's my Avengers movie or Star Wars. Or
Right.
whatever.
No,
Right there.
I've thought about that for sure. That's why I was thinking about. Yeah.
Those are books behind you, though. Actually, Paul.
Oh, those are books.
Books are important too. Books are good. I like.
There's
them.
another. There's
They're
another.
cordless.
Oh, yes. I was looking at. Oh, they're over there too.
The books are cordless.
They are.
That's another form of physical media.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Call me a boomer, and even though I'm not, I'm a Gen X. I'm. Sorry.
No, what's bizarre? Look at the resurgence of albums of vinyl. I mean, why wouldn't anything else make a resurgence at some point anyway?
I still have my Kenwood.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yes, it works, and woo! Put this records on. I got them all.
No.
Went to Barnes and Noble. I ordered the Jesse Ventura book to show you that I still buy books, and I picked up Come and See. Did you guys see that one yet? That movie, Come and See.
What?
No.
Disturbing.
Oh, no. It looks
It's actually
disturbing.
It is. It's a Soviet Union movie made back in '85 about
I was just going to
the
say
war. Oh, it's good. It's the kid who stars in this is phenomenal. Through 4 days, he is running around with the Nazis chasing him, and it's crazy. You guys would just cry out loud. So.
Got a comment in the chat here.
I know. I feel a little ashamed.
Time.
Okay, I'll go buy the DVD.
Woo, yes.
If you get the 4K, you get all the different copies. You get the Blu-ray, even though I don't have a 4K player yet, but I have the 4K.
Okay, so that's what I should get then. If I don't have Blu-ray player, I might as well just get a 4K. Is that the thing? I don't even know about this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind
4K.
of, I've been like, transformed over to all the.
You're with the cool
stuff.
kids. You're on the digital. You're like, I live
not.
in the cloud. You live in the cloud.
I don't, though. I don't. I try not to. I go to the theater. I like going to the, for movies. I like going there. So
do I.
I will never not love going to the movie theater.
I know, and I'm terrified that the theaters are going to go away. And,
Mine, I know. It's really, there's nothing like that.
I know. And if the theaters go away, we're going to be stuck watching something like this, right, Pete? Pete loves Doctor Who.
I know. We were talking about it before. I don't understand why this is upsetting, though. Can you explain?
This really doesn't upset me. I mean, it's okay. Fine, if you have to do this, but I'm actually more upset that they're going to change the exterior of the TARDIS.
Are they?
The Doctor flies around in a police box.
Oh,
a big blue 1960s police box. And it's been that way since 1963. Basically, the whole idea is that it's going to look like wherever it lands, it's going to look like something that's inconspicuous.
Okay.
So, and in the 60s, he landed in England,
mm-hmm.
and it looked like a police box, and it got stuck. So for 50 odd years, it's been looking like a police box, and that's like iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're going to change it because police are problematic now. I'm more upset.
Get out of here! Is that really?
Yeah. I mean, that would be like if Disney gave us a giant sphere with a radar dish on the front and said, "This is the Millennium Falcon." No, it's not. This is. You don't change something that's iconic.
Absolutely.
And the TARDIS is iconic. It's making the Doctor buy what? It's a gimmick. So is Jodie Whittaker. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know anything about Doctor Who. I don't know anything about Doctor Who except for the TARDIS. Why would you I know what that is, and I don't even watch that. So
exactly. So yeah, even if a non-fan knows what the TARDIS is, don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
But it's. I don't care what they do with the Doctor's sexuality. Just give us a better show.
There you go.
Well,
right,
that's the point. The thing here now is that we're seeing this in everything. It's the pronoun thing, right? Everybody's got to have a fucking pronoun, and they've got to be gender neutral or non-binary or bisexual constantly. And it doesn't do anything to serve the story or the characters. It's just there to tokenize
right
and virtue signal that, like, look how progressive we are. Well, what does that have to do with anything?
Exactly.
I mean, you've already gender swapped the role. You've already done that. And now you got to do this on top of it. It's this building pronouns thing to somehow prove a point that you're like some kind of enlightened being.
It's like we said, though. Like, they're kowtowing to, like, really, it's the people with the megaphones. It's not the majority of people that, I don't think so. I don't think it's a majority of people that feel that way. It's just the loudest people that feel that way. And for some reason, the studios are buying into that crap.
But
yeah,
but they're losing money.
ratings for this.
Yeah, the BBC lost half their subscribers this week. Half.
Yeah, and this show has been tanking in the ratings. I mean, they've lost millions of eyeballs, and it's just no matter what they try.
Why do you think that is? Like,
because the shows are bad.
Just because they're bad.
The shows are they're just bad. They're preachy. They aren't fun.
Because people want to be entertained, not lectured to.
I hear you.
And this stuff it's invaded every part of our entertainment for the last 3 or 4 years now, and this year it's gotten even worse. I mean, it's just out of control. We have a new guest coming in here.
What?
Another first timer on GeekTime TV. Shitty Beef, Alan Spaulding. Hello, my friend.
Hello. How do I look?
You look dashing as usual.
Let's see who's here. I got Shitty Chicken, Paul.
Hi.
I see Peter.
Is someone playing? Alan, do you have this in the background?
Alan.
How you doing, Stacy? Yes, I closed that shit, motherfucker.
Can you mute our show in the background, Alan?
I muted it.
Hear the okay.
I muted it.
You're like that guy that calls into the radio show, and like you're like, "What the hell?" Like you're yelling at your radio, like, "Dude, turn your radio off."
When I was a kid, we had a radio station a few miles away.
Long-time listener, first-time call. Hey, how's it going?
Blah blah blah. And then you hear
It was a little dinky station, and we used to call and prank it because they had this thing on Saturday morning called the Swap Shop, and you could call in, and if you were going to sell something, so we'd call in and we wait a few seconds for the delay, and then we go like, and they'd hang up on you. Look,
I love the when Howard Stern show calls the Swap Shop. That's great. So
sorry to crash the party.
No, you're welcome. No, this is not a crash. This is welcome.
What are we talking about, bitches?
Well, we just talked about Alex Trebek, and now we're on to the infiltration of identity politics in our entertainment.
Oh boy,
Doctor Who.
Yeah,
we started with Doctor Who because
be
Pete loves
bisexual.
Doctor Who.
Gotcha.
So
I've never seen Doctor Who except 1 or 2 episodes. Sorry.
There's some really good episodes, and she is not in any of them.
Is that a real person or is that a drawing? Oh, that's
a drawing.
Okay.
I think it's a real person. Yeah, that's a real plank of wood.
Yeah.
But here's a question: how will they prove that she's bisexual in these?
Oh, she'll probably come out and say
girls?
Yeah, she'll just come out and say it, Paul.
Just say it. They're not going to prove it.
Or they'll show her getting out of bed with a girl or something.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll probably kiss one of her companions, or she'll just be downright blatant and say it because they have no subtlety anymore.
It won't be like as they're leaving. Bye.
Subtlety and nuance. What's that?
Yeah. No subtlety.
Well, I'm going to watch
with this. Pete, I got to hit you with a left-right combo right now. Are you ready?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry,
I
Pete.
think I
I
know.
have to do this. You see what I mean?
I can't believe that's a thing still.
This is creative bankruptcy. That's what this is.
Well, they'll find out, right? I mean, once no one's watching because it doesn't appeal.
Saying that, but they just keep doubling down on it. I
mean, this is a series that doesn't need to happen, or this is a movie that doesn't need to happen anyway.
It's going to be one of each, right? There's going to be a movie and a television series.
Oh God, that's right. That's right.
But they're going to have nothing to do with one another. They're going to have totally different casts.
Yeah. And I guarantee you they're going to entirely miss the point.
About what will they miss the point on? This is the cheap version of Star Trek, right?
No, well, there really wasn't anything cheap about the original. I mean, the original was pretty pricey. I mean, it did get kind of cheap looking at the end, And the new series was kind of a commentary on post 9/11 America. With the Cylons looking human, and the bad guys could be anybody type of mindset. But they did gender swapping, they did race swapping, and they didn't beat you over the skull with it. They just did it. People complained, and then they let the writing do the talking.
It's all about the writing, right? I mean,
yeah, Starbuck is one of the best written characters, and that was one of the biggest bones of contention, because oh my God, you made Starbuck a girl.
It worked,
and it worked. She's the best written character on the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but when they just did this with Batwoman, where they actually won't. They have this whole thing going now where you have to play the character based on what you are in real life. I guess actors don't know how to act anymore. So, like, if you're going to have a non-binary Starbuck, we can only get a non-binary actor to do it. It's insane. I'm at a loss for words. It really is.
Why? I mean, it just.
First of all, you're playing pretend for a paycheck. Can't you just get anybody and they can pretend to be non-binary? I mean, or can you hire someone non-binary and pretend to be just a heterosexual person? You're supposed to be an actor, right?
I don't.
You play pretend for paychecks. Like, what is going on here? So I don't know. Alan, you've been quiet. What do you think about this?
Well, I was thinking about non-binary and trying to understand. The definition of non-binary is that you're not confined to two different things.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
What else is there if there's not two?
Well, they refer to themselves as they and them.
Okay.
It's pronouns again. Pronouns.
Non-binary in the second level is okay. Pronouns. Well, what am I? What you get? How do you define yourself, Keith?
Me. I.
Okay. And Stacy?
Like, what do you mean, pronouns wise?
I don't know. How do you define yourself?
I don't know.
I just say I'm Alan. I'm the fat kid.
Yeah.
I pretty much just. I mean, I get it. You want to be non-binary, but it's almost like it's just like I don't know, a fad.
Like, it's more like, just don't label me. Like, why put a label on something if you don't want
non-binary label?
It is a label. Exactly. That's my point.
And they're putting the label on themselves.
Right.
They do it on their social media. Like, they identify themselves with other pronouns. Like, that's how they want to be identified, instead of just being Jill or Amy or Jack or Tom.
Well, I
don't think, and I think that I'm late to the party here, so forgive me, but it's obvious that nobody is judging people for what they choose, how they choose to be as people. But it's the point.
There are a lot of people that do judge.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that do judge. And we're talking about the concept of entertainment and what we want to see and how it's being shifted by this other movement that's out there, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't like it.
Yeah, that's how a lot of pop culture has been going. They've been bending a knee to the politics out there.
The Twitter mob.
That's the Twitter mob, and that's why we're getting bad Star Wars and Star Trek and Doctor Who and Battlestar Galactica. Looks like it's on the train next.
Oh, I'll give you an even bigger one. This one is the most insane thing I think I've read this week.
CBS.
Well, did you read the whole thing though? Because I mean, I have thoughts about this, but go ahead.
My point is, with things like this, would you mandate that you're telling writers how to write and how to structure their creative vision?
But they're mostly
have to
talking
work
about
around this kind of stuff. I don't understand why this is such a big deal. I brought this up a couple weeks ago. Does anybody remember the movie Coming to America with Eddie Murphy?
Yes,
love that movie.
Does anybody remember, or did you even realize? I didn't even realize this. The whole cast is black. Did you realize that? No. You know why? Because it was well written, well performed, well structured. It was funny as hell, and you were entertained. Like, so, the idea that this is like, that there's been some kind of systemic racism and all this kind of, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. There never has been. They're just trying to draw this attention to it. And when you start mandating stuff like this, and telling writers how they have to structure it, so you have a cast of 4, 2 have to be black. Someone has to be a Native American. Someone's got to have some kind of physical disability. Someone's got to be non-binary. Someone's like, come on, man. How are you supposed to craft a good story around that?
Well,
if the story calls for it, fine. But come on.
It's true that diversity doesn't have to be just diversity of face.
Exactly, Alan. Exactly. But again,
it doesn't have to be like an equal smattering. I'm not sure that and the other part of diversity is inclusion. That's the bigger part. Feeling like you're wanted and you're welcome and stuff. But
when you do stuff like this, it goes back to you're tokenizing people.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you ask comedians like Eddie Murphy and of course Richard Pryor, he's dead, but these stand-up comedians, especially those who are black, who paved the way, and in their stand-up they had a way of getting across points with humor, especially Richard Pryor. Often had a moral center to a lot of his stuff.
Yes.
And Eddie Murphy does too, even though he's obviously a bit more crude in his delivery.
Richard Pryor was a bit crude as well.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor was crude. Yeah.
Chris Rock does a good job with that too.
And Chris Rock does a nice job. Yeah.
Even though his last stand-up was shit.
Yeah. But I saw him live. Oh God, it was probably 8 or 9 years ago in Wallingford, and my face hurt.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious. I don't know, his last one, we just watched it not like a few months back. Oh my God, terrible. I don't know what happened to him with the divorce and all that stuff up or something.
I think and a lot of comedians are saying this now because of cancel culture. They have to pull back. They have to be careful.
Certain ones do. Bill Burr, not so much.
Yeah,
right. They'll persevere. Those guys. Yeah, people appreciate what they're saying. I think more than not. So
I agree.
It'll come back. It'll shift back.
But I know Chris Rock said like he'll never do college campuses ever again and things like that because he makes one kind of one of those off-color jokes and gets booed off the stage.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah,
it is unfortunate. But
well, it seems every generation has to latch on to something that's a champion cause for them. I get it, but it's I don't know. I'm looking at the list here. I just realized something. Paul is the wrench.
Yeah.
That's me. Don't ever forget it.
Why are you the wrench?
You didn't watch the show in the beginning, did you? When I gave oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Because when you want to fuck up the works, you throw in the wrench.
Yeah, monkey wrench. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a monkey.
Yeah, we should call you monkey.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Why?
For what?
For not being here at the beginning.
No, that's all right.
No, it doesn't matter. Edson jumps in the middle all the time. So
I'm thinking about
free for all, man. It's a sandbox.
Who's the actor that was injured recently and he does a lot of the stuff with The Rock.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart has got to be one of the greatest.
He's hilarious.
Comedians and actors. Everything that you see him do, he's just on. He's really, really funny. A really funny guy. It's nice. It's nice to know that you can be a good actor, be a great entertainer without catering to someone else's
agenda.
Whim.
They definitely feel the pressure, though. I think. I mean, they all talk about it. Like anytime you see, and I'm just glad the ones that kind of like stay above it and just keep doing their thing.
But yes, but we don't. I mean. Stacey's obviously the only woman here, except for me sometimes on the weekends.
Are you non-binary, Alan?
No,
non-binary.
No, he's one or the other. Hello.
That's right. I'm just trying to be funny.
Can you please put your pronouns in your description so we know?
No.
Check your profiles, man.
Obviously, there are some people who have been really shafted by bullshit. Not everybody has the same experience as us. Especially in Hollywood, I really do believe that it's a
an echo.
Old boys club. What's it called?
I hear an echo.
I didn't change anything.
I don't hear anything.
Okay.
I heard an echo.
You did?
A little.
Is it me?
No, I don't hear it.
Hello. There it is.
Yeah. Somebody have an open speaker somewhere.
Not me.
Not me.
Not I.
Not it.
You know what? Alan joined. Let me go fix my mic settings again.
Jeez, Keith.
Yes,
Well-
subscribe. All I was trying to say is that there are people out there, that talk about Hollywood, that are in Hollywood, that really probably are shafted from the Old Boys Club. Is it what it's called? Old Boys Club?
Yes. You mean like this guy?
Yeah, he's one.
I don't know about this. Like,
why am I hearing an echo?
is it me? I haven't changed anything.
I don't hear any
I don't
echo.
either. Alan was echoing when he was talking. Now I hear myself.
You sound normal to me. Well,
No, he's got an echo.
Well, all right. I'm just gonna mute and go. Keep talking.
Basically, what happened is Johnny here had a lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard, basically saying that he was the victim and she was the abuser. He lost.
Well, wasn't the lawsuit against a journalist that had the headline "wife beater"? That's what what.
Oh,
and
okay.
all of that crap got dragged into the hearing or whatever before the judge. That's kind of right. I mean,
and for what the witnesses said, and for what everything was set before the judge just turned around and said, Johnny Depp is wrong,
right?
Which was crazy.
I mean, who knows? It sounds like they're both a couple weirdos to be.
I think so too.
And it's from my perspective. If I was Warner Brothers, I'd be like, "That's a mess right there." Go, regardless of who's guilty of what, it's a big mess, and who wants to be associated with that?
Yeah, I'm really sad about this resignation, though.
It is sad. It is sad.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably why he's getting 8 figures for the next movie, whether he's in it or not.
What movie?
Third episode of Fantastic Beasts. Yeah.
And he's getting $8 million for not being in it.
8 figure.
Oh, 8 figure. Well, I'm not in it either.
Yeah, he's in one scene.
Oh.
And the third, and the new one, the third one, he's in one scene.
Yeah, it says Warner Brothers will be on the hook for Depp's full salary, even though he only had shot one scene since production began on September. London.
And that scene will probably get replaced.
Depp had a so-called pay or play contract, which requires that he fully be compensated whether or not the film is made, and even if it is recast. So if he's getting, 10, 12, 15, 20 million bucks?
Easily.
Wow.
Easily, yeah.
Those movies they're not even that good. So, I mean, it's not, I don't know.
I only saw the first one.
The second one's not good.
Really?
Yeah. It's very disappointing. So I mean, they can recast him, and I don't know.
Wasn't he a recast anyway? Wasn't Colin Farrell the role first? Alan?
Colin Farrell, he's in disguise. So,
I see.
He's in disguise, and he's playing a ministry, bigwig in the first movie. But in secret, it's
It's really Johnny Depp underneath the mask.
It's really Johnny Depp.
Yeah, you only see it at the very end, right, of the first one. You
know what they could do? They could get Colin Farrell back and then flip it again and say, "Oh, he really was Colin Farrell." Then he would drive. Why not? Right? Just do that.
That would work.
Yeah. So it does suck. I mean, I don't think, like you, I caught the tail end of that, Paul. I didn't follow this case with Amber Heard. I don't know if you did. I thought he won. I thought they proved that she was a lunatic. I mean,
but the courts gave it to the other way around.
Well, because he was trying to kind of save face, I guess. He's the one who filed this lawsuit against a writer, a journalist
for the Sun,
in England.
right?
Yeah. So that all stuff did get settled years ago, but now it just kind of got brought back up.
Okay.
Oh man.
It's all junk.
It's all junk.
Yeah. I have my own
bad.
time.
I loved Johnny Depp.
Me too.
I know.
He got really strange though after Pirates of the Caribbean.
But did you see who they're considering for him?
In Pirates?
No, in the Fantastic Beasts.
Who?
No.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
Jack
From
Nicholson's
No,
son?
from
Rogue One.
the
bad guy
why
from
am I-
Doctor Strange.
the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
He
And
was
which was
also
he in there?
Doctor Strange. He was in Rogue One.
I know. I probably know who it is. What's his
He
name?
played Hannibal Lecter.
Nicholson. Yeah, he played Hannibal Lecter on the TV show.
Right.
We'll watch that.
Yeah, he's creepy. He'll work because he's got that creepy kind of vibe to him, you know. All right,
We'll
it's
take
time. It's time to let Paul go on his rant.
Of what?
I know you've been waiting for this, Paul.
Oh, geez.
James Bond, how dare they? All right. This is what got me kicked off of Facebook, I think. Way back when I said James Bond is James Bond. You know, I mean, total wrong. Total. So
Well, if you want to split hairs,
I'm gonna
she's
go ahead.
not James Bond.
She's 007. But still, it's taking the image, the man who I was a kid, I went to see Dr. No in the theaters when it first came out, and the first, 8 James Bonds in there. And granted, they could be ridiculous sometimes, but it was James Bond, 007.
But
now go ahead.
They're playing it up like to incite discussion and riot. But she's not really playing the character of 007 for the whole movie. There's actually in the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
He disappears for a while.
Yeah,
And she becomes 007 in his stead until he returns.
And that part's fine. It's what's going to happen here.
Yes.
It's a Bond for the modern era who will appeal to a younger generation while sticking true to what we all expect in a Bond film. There are spectacular chase sequences and fights, and Bond is still Bond, but he's having to learn to deal with the world of Me Too. What's going to happen is, and you can read, I mean, she... it's the pronoun thing again. It's not about like being part of this 58-year-old franchise now and carrying on some kind of legacy. It's just it's about look what she says here, like I
read this.
I'm black and I'm beautiful and this and that, and like Moneypenny went out in the field in Skyfall and nobody had a problem with that, right? And she's also a black female. It's the fact that they're deconstructing James Bond, and James Bond is one of these things. It's male escapism, and what they're going to try to do is level it out. And by the end of this movie, she's going to be saving the day while he stands there slack-jawed watching. I guarantee it. I see it coming. And this will be probably the beginning of the end. I mean, I don't think people are going to want to see this. If she was just going to be at 007 as a, she took that role when he was on hiatus or he's retired or resigned or whatever, fine. But it's going to be what happens when he comes back. And he's going to be lectured to, and he's going to be patronized, and he's going to be, I can see it coming.
Yeah. The James Bond character was not a stupid person.
Right.
He was very smart. He was educated, worldly, and now he's coming back as, what's this? Like,
a
he
lot
woke
of
up.
this is Daniel Craig himself. This is his fault. He didn't want to do this movie. He didn't want to do this movie. They forced him to come back or pried him back. So he reduced his role, and he brought in Phoebe Waller-Bridge to write this stuff into it, and turn James Bond. He's like, James Bond needs a lesson in, the modern world. And basically Daniel Craig is sabotaging the franchise on his way out the door. So maybe they should have just recast him and moved on. So
we'll see. I think we should we should see what happens.
Oh, I'm going to see it
in the future.
I'm going to see it, and I hope I'm wrong. But the way they're promoting this,
just watch
the movies that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, watch just the coming attractions and watch the stuff. And Daniel Craig is just out of the fact that he's on a motorcycle chase and he does the jump off the side of the bridge, he's just like it.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm gonna be satanic avocado here for a second, and say that we're in COVID-19 right now. Movies aren't being played; they're not being showed. My woman's intermission, as Archie Bunker would say, just makes me feel like, okay, they're doing all this stuff. They're like trying to give people something to latch onto. Like, why make a big deal about this? Why talk about it in this way? I think it's just marketing to get people to be like, okay, what's this going to look like? Let me go see it. Like we just said.
I don't think this is a marketing ploy to make money. This is a marketing ploy to lose money, if you ask me. They tried to sell this movie to the streaming services a couple weeks ago, and they asked for $600 million and were laughed out of the room by Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu in one day. So they expect this movie to make that much, or they need to make that much money to make a profit off this.
Oh, I think it would easily make that much.
I don't.
Under normal circumstances, absolutely.
Yes,
but not nowadays.
If there was no coof and it had already been released, yes, it probably would have. But now they're sitting on it. Who knows what the theater situation is going to be when they release this next spring or summer? And not only that, you're looking at 2021 is going to have the 2021 calendar and the 2020 calendar all crammed in. So these movies are going to be flying out of the theater every 5 days, right?
Yeah, but there was a big hiatus of making films, so there should be some sort of a gap, no?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. All those months of not making movies.
But they're not going to make $600 million streaming this thing. And I just don't know how, like, this. People are going to watch James Bond, not Jane Bond. I'm sorry. I mean, let's make Charlie's Angels with 3 dudes next time. I have nothing.
I mean, look what happened with Ghostbusters.
A million times before. Exactly, Paul. There's nothing wrong with strong women in things. It's great, but when you do it, when you make it ham-fisted and you do intersectional feminism, it doesn't work.
Well, you definitely don't want it to be gratuitous.
And
it's got to be it works better if there's a point. But
like Skyfall, there was a point. Moneypenny went out in the field with him twice in that movie.
But the thing that I've said before, like on our podcast, though, is that this really, it's somebody else's property. I mean, if they can do with it what they want,
it's a big
whether or not
property.
we buy it, right? Whether or not we buy it, we spend our money to give it to them because of it. That's what we can do. That's all. I think.
I know, but it's kind of, and I get Keith's point though. Like I see what you're saying, Alan, 100%. But it's also like it's disappointing when it's something that you've like enjoyed for many years to like get the axe put to it like that. Like if people don't go to see it, then that's the end of James Bond, right? I mean, kind of.
Well, they won't be, it's going to be hard to make a big budget movie going forward. I mean, a lot of these movies, the studios are losing money and, if theaters start closing shop, who knows? But, you're right, Stacey. The next James Bond will be scaled back in budget. Big time.
Yeah, if no one goes to see this one.
Right. And not only that, they're going to be replacing James Bond because no matter what, this is it.
Right.
Craig. So
yeah, it's it for him. And you got to have explosions and car chases and cool cars and James Bond. You can't skimp on that.
And let's keep in mind they don't use CGI in James Bond. Everything's done in camera. It's practical, and that's expensive. That's a lot of stunt work. It's smashing up a lot of cars. It's blowing up a lot of buildings, and it's doing it over and over and over again.
All the good stuff.
Yeah,
and with this, we could have had both of them in there for the next couple of movies and making her 006 or 008.
Make her another agent. Exactly.
Absolutely. That's what confused me as well. I don't get that point.
Well, they were bending the knee on this and said, we'll show you.
That's the whole problem, Paul. You hit the nail on the head. And they're doing this in the comics. Instead of creating new characters, they just gender swap an old one.
That makes no sense to me at all.
It's creative bankruptcy is what it is. They can't do anything original. So they just hijack and gender swap or race swap a character. Edson Gomes has joined the show.
What's going on, Edson?
No, don't tell me.
Hello.
I owe him money.
I don't hear him.
I owe him money.
Oh, there he is. I see him. He's down at the bottom.
Yes, he's down at the bottom.
He's got sound.
Edson, are you sounding?
How you doing?
There you are.
Edson, how are you? Meet Lady Geek Time.
Hi.
Hi.
So, we just got done talking about James Bond. I don't know if you want to weigh in on it real quick. The Lashana Lynch.
I'm sure you covered everything.
Well, I think that the conclusion we came to is if they just made her a new character and she could have just been another 000, would have been fine.
Right. So they just wanted to take the shortcut and say, hey, we have a 007 that's has all the diverse check boxes, and what a brave thing it is.
Right. And they're also, then when the movie doesn't make the money they want, they're going to turn around and call the audience ists and phobes and haters and whatnot.
Who did that?
Female.
They are going to call Twitter,
They.
the Twitter mob.
The Twitter mob.
Yes, the Twitter mob.
They get their own category. They're not everybody. They're just them.
I know that. I'll tell you what pisses me off is the Twitterverse.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Not a fan.
The twits, as it were.
Yeah. Exactly.
The twits.
These are people who sit behind a keyboard all day long and attack things and ask for equality through segregation or elimination. And they want all these properties to be, fixed like this, fixed, and then they don't pay for it. They don't buy it. They get the comic books to alter things, and then they don't buy it.
Right. Because they don't really. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get stuck with bad Star Wars, bad comics, bad Doctor Who, bad Star Trek.
Well, and that's because these things are also decided by committee, where they sit in a room, and then they have, sensitivity readers in there, and they go, well, that could be offensive to this group of people, and that could be offensive to this group of people, and that could be, and before you know it, when you're altering your script down because you don't want to offend anybody, you've got a vanilla piece of crap.
Yep.
We go back and talk about the original Star Wars or, Gene Roddenberry Star Trek, and these were visions of one person, not a room full of people with a bunch of, statistics and what's the word I'm looking for? Metrics and whatever in front of them, so that, they're basing their script on basically
demographics.
Thank you, Alan. They're basing it on what they're seeing on Facebook and Twitter. And that's, and again, the people on Facebook and Twitter don't buy your stuff, gang. When are you going to figure that out? So
Disney has decided that they are a money-making organization now. I mean, Pedro Pascal put up something after the election, and Disney shut him down real fast.
Yeah, we'll get to that one.
Oh, okay.
All of a sudden, the problem.
Yeah. No, but finish your thought, Pete. Definitely.
But basically, Disney has said that all of the wokeness is going to stop. You haven't seen Brie Larson go off on a tirade anytime recently, and Pedro Pascal got shut down. They've decided that everybody's money is green, and we're going to go with what works.
Well, if the election taught us anything, is that we are carved right down the middle. And when you tell half your paying customers they're assholes and we don't want your business, that's dumb. That's not good marketing. So,
but you can't pander to ignorance either. There's a medium, there's a, gray area.
Right.
But everybody's money's green. And if
whose money's the greenest though? The people that go to the parks.
Yes.
The theme parks. That's all that's where Disney makes money.
And they're losing their asses because they're shut down. Yeah.
Right now, yeah.
In California. And they only get 25% allowed in Florida, so they're hemorrhaging cash. They're panicking because they went and bought everything on the planet.
Yeah, right at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, everybody did everything at the wrong time. Stupid. What do you call it, Keith? The coof?
The coof.
The coof.
Yeah.
Le coof. Le coof.
But Pfizer's news is promising.
It is actually. I feel before this, I wasn't really confident in a vaccine, but the fact that an actual company that actually makes vaccines and has done so in the past,
and 43,000 sample size is nothing to scoff at. 90% efficacy.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of the whole day, to cap off a week from last Tuesday, is Pfizer's retort about how the Trump administration tried to claim that
Mhm.
their program helped them
funding
get
was
started and
stupid.
funded them, and Pfizer said,
Nope.
no, we didn't take money from anybody to do this research. I mean, obviously, Pfizer's a big company.
No, wasn't it like Germany or something?
They
Like,
did it with Germany, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
On the flip side, they'll be able to charge a lot of money for it, but you know, you and I
It's
will.
supposed to be free. It's supposed to be distributed for free.
Well, it's not. Nothing's free.
Right.
Well, it'll be for
Insurance
free, and then our
company
taxes will go up. But
Yeah.
that's
Or your health insurance payment is what we'll see it, because
Health
that's who will
insurance.
pay for it.
Who has health insurance anymore?
The only
Anyway,
the only thing I could say
Very
about
true.
that is that I remember our little circle when we would be talking, Keith, and I think we all agreed by the end of the election, whoa, look what we have.
Oh,
I told ya.
Yeah.
they were
We s-
politicizing this from late
It
April.
was a
or May.
football
Yeah,
beyond.
absolutely.
So Pedro Pascal from the Mandalorian, Pete.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll get to that.
Yeah,
sorry.
we'll get to that. But
Sorry.
Disney, the point was that Disney is deciding it's no longer going woke because they need to make money.
Because
Woke
they're
is broke.
Woke is broke.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
you
they
know,
won't stop getting pandered to.
right. And I've heard that a lot of major corporations now are going to find that they want to know if you're an activist before they interview you, because they don't want activists in their company. They're
Oh
these
my
people who
God.
can turn around and start blowing shit up from the inside out.
That's very.
Yeah.
You know,
That. What does
What do you-
that mean?
Yeah, what do you think about that, Stacy?
About what? I
What
mean,
he just said.
I don't know. What's an activist? Like, what?
I
At
know.
what point? Like, oh, you've been to a march. You've been to 10 marches. Like, what?
how many Starbucks
what-
have you burned down?
You know, like
Yeah.
that's.
And how do you ask that question?
Yeah.
Like, how do you
I
find
would
that
I would
information
say,
out?
you know, are you a member of Antifa? Are you a member of this or that?
There's a
I don't know.
blood
I don't know. I'm just I don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying that I've heard that companies are getting a little worried about extreme activists.
Well, at what
taking
point?
jobs.
Yeah, I wonder what the form that takes, though. That's the thing. Like,
Right.
oh, I donate money to Planned Parenthood. Does that make me an activist? Like,
No,
Exactly.
you know what I
no.
mean?
I think
Does-
they're more worried about people who are like putting bricks through store windows and
Oh,
stuff.
who's gonna admit that?
Right, and that's like saying, "Are
Those
you a
usually are
workplace-"
activists that do that anyway. It's
Yeah, right.
It's opportunists.
That's like asking people, and when they
Yeah.
join, "Are you a workplace shooter?"
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Well,
Are you-
maybe they want people to come to actually work and not spend all day trying to convert people to different.
Yeah.
There you go. And
opinions
anything.
Yeah.
Convert to
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
gonna sit on
Yeah.
Twitter all
Maybe
day.
they want to spend the time working instead of being on Twitter all day.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But it's like the other side there, where we got Matthew McConaughey saying, "Hey, this is stupid. What's going on in Hollywood?"
We'll get to that too.
Yeah, but he's the one that's being outcasted. So
Is he
now it's-
though? Who's outcasting him? The Twitterverse. Nobody. I'm
somebody else, exactly.
I'm
She's-
telling you, like,
you're
nobody
exactly
I
right.
know, everybody I know feels the same way. Like, and I know people that vary on their political beliefs. I think I've not met one person that's like would cancel Matthew McConaughey for saying
it's
cancel culture is bullshit. Like, that's stupid.
It's the Twitter mob. It
It
really
is. They're
I mean,
they have a loud voice, but they don't represent everyone.
These people were
Thank
were
you.
attacking Sean Connery after he died. They attacked Alex Trebek after he died
Well, Sean Connery's got some stuff
about
some
toxic
his-
masculinity.
What he talk about beating women? Sean Connery, that interview where he was like
Yeah.
Oh, they
about
did a
slapping
slap.
women and how he's like, yeah, he's like, I still feel that way. Like then in the interview with Barbara Walters, so a
Yeah.
little bit.
Slap them
So
around.
there's a little bit something there, but whatever.
Yeah, like I look at stuff like that. I'm like, he's just from another time. you know?
Exactly. And it's not saying that that's okay, but you
It's
acknowledge
not saying
that.
that's, and that's
Right.
what Matthew
And
McConaughey
that's-
is basically saying right here. You just can't erase history because
Right.
you don't like how it sounds or
100%.
how it played out.
But if we acknowledge it and like learn from it and move on, right? And there's something to be learned
Right.
from it, but to not talk about it ever doesn't make sense either. I mean, I think there's room for a discussion about these kinds of things. Just
Oh,
how far you take it, I guess.
how dare you be pragmatic? You're supposed to be. You should be on social media right now, canceling all of us.
Yeah, I know. You don't know what I'm doing behind the scenes here. Yeah.
No, but, no, but you're spot on, Stacey. You are spot on, and this is stuff I've been saying since a lot of this started rearing its ugly head after the George Floyd thing, and not throwing out names, but there's some people we know that were like, saying that I was not right to say that cancel culture is ridiculous and
right.
That you can't just alter history because you don't like what it presents. I mean, come on.
Aren't discussing it. I mean, the idea just to take a side without having a discussion makes no sense to me. I mean, nothing's solved that way.
Well, we've forgotten how to have a discussion in this country.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I consider myself a liberal. Like, I'm a liberal. I'll tell you all day long. But I totally agree with what Matthew McConaughey's saying. 100%.
Yeah. No,
I think a lot of people feel that way. I think majority of people feel that way.
Most people are in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm a centrist. And,
it makes sense. It just makes sense.
To me, it just brings back the old adage that you need it. And if you think you can just take a magic pen and wipe this stuff away because you don't like it, you're just gonna start it all over again.
Or ignoring it like it didn't happen too. I mean, it's kind of comes from both sides.
Who was the author that said, I can't remember what it was. There's some quote about, I'll have to find it later, but I'll mess it all up. So I won't bother. But it's just basically something to the effect of, something about never mind. Let's move on.
I totally agree with you.
Quite an impression on you.
Spot on, sir. Spot on.
Spot on.
That's mockery. I'm hurt.
Edson, I like whatever you're sitting on. I just realized it's soccer balls.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It's like a blanket with soccer. Before it was the puzzle pieces. Now it's soccer balls.
Nice.
Wow.
So, this one's not really that big a deal, but it goes back to I was going to piggyback this with the James Bond.
Oh.
It looks like they're going to make Shuri Black Panther now, which makes sense.
It makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm on board with this. It makes sense to me.
Here's my problem with it.
My problem is she's 90 pounds soaking wet.
Right. She's 80
but she's
pounds,
a badass. She's so smart. Like, her intelligence can supersede the power. You know what I mean? It's like the whole idea of oh what? Did I push the button? No. Sorry, I thought I pushed the mute button. But she's royalty. She's in the family. It makes sense though. I do what you're saying. She's tiny, but
Chadwick Boseman wasn't that big of a dude either. I mean, he was pretty.
Yeah, but when you see him, beating on some 200-pound stuntman, you believe it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but she can figure out different ways to do it. I think that's where her intelligence.
Well, yeah, it's like Spider-Man in his suit beating
Absolutely.
on people.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, Spider-Man can catch a car going at 40 miles an hour.
True, but she could create a suit. Yeah,
I suppose. I mean, if they can acknowledge the fact that she's this stick,
I mean, I see your
and
point.
work around that, maybe.
I see your point, but I just feel like, if not for Chadwick Boseman being, passed, we'll be having a different discussion. But who else?
Why didn't they just get another actor?
Well, they burned Michael B. Jordan already. He would have been great.
He was a bad guy.
No, I'm saying they used him already. That's my point. Yeah,
he would have been a good person.
Yeah.
Right, because he was in the family still.
I think they should get John David Washington from Tenet.
Oh, he's
awesome. Yeah, but where he? I don't know.
He's an ex-football player. He could do it.
No, but how does he fit into the story?
You could just say that he's.
You just recast him. You just recast him.
Oh no! You can't.
They recast Rhodey. They recast the Hulk.
Right. They've recast.
No, not
that
because they
needed to
died.
happen.
Not because they died.
No, but they still recast them. I mean, they
found
suddenly
better
expect.
actors. I mean,
Well,
it's been a fail ever since they've tried to recast Batman after Christian Bale. I'm sorry.
Oh, Batfleck was awesome.
Oh, I don't know, man. Batfleck.
I have high hopes for Pattinson.
He was great.
You're
he
joking,
was perfect.
right? Please tell me
No,
you're joking.
he was awesome.
Oh, he was terrible.
Who
No.
was awesome?
Ben Affleck.
Oh no, Christian Bale.
No, he
Batman.
was a horrible Bruce Wayne.
No,
Awful.
Ben Affleck was Batman as Bruce Wayne.
Keith. You know who was awful? Val Kilmer and George Clooney. Those guys were awful.
Yeah.
But
Well, George Clooney will admit that.
Yeah, I think that Christian Bale did a pretty great job, and Ben Affleck I'm surprised that he's not staying longer because he kind of is the older,
The
the older Bruce Wayne from there. But I think Robert Pattinson.
yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for the new?
Yeah, but he's messing that movie up.
You think so?
Oh, he's a mess.
I'm
They've had to.
I'm
He won't
interested.
work out. He's causing all kinds of issues.
He won't work out.
We got the echo back. Edson, do you have headphones on?
Oh,
yeah, the echo's back. Yeah, no, he won't work out. He's causing all kinds of problems on the set. The directors had it with him.
Oh, that's too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is kind of like a weirdo. I mean, Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He was good in Tenet, though. I thought.
Yeah, he was great. I thought, that actually gave me hope for Batman. But then I'm looking at all this
too.
stuff where he's just a hot mess. This guy.
That's too bad.
Bring back Michael Keaton.
They're working on that.
All right, good.
They're working on that. Of course, nobody beats Kevin Conroy. The animated Batman.
Yes.
Y'all got quiet. Kevin Conroy beats them all.
Who watches animated Batman? I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
What happened to Keith? Where'd he go? I know.
I think he's fixing the echo.
Oh.
Keith.
Edson, what's going on in your world?
Work.
What's echo?
Work all the time.
What's your biggest hot button issue these days?
Oh, these days?
Yeah.
How well, that's an old one, how Star Wars and Star Trek get screwed up. We could go on that for days. Well, we still don't see the theaters opening up soon too, huh?
My theater's open.
Yeah, they're open here.
There's just not that much playing.
They had Goldfinger tonight, but
well, I should rephrase that. We still don't see the movies being sent to the theaters.
Right.
There you go.
Very few.
You're seeing Lisbon? Is that where you're at?
No, I go to Mystic.
You go to Mystic.
Yeah, it's amazing theater. Awesome. They upgraded their seats. Now they're heated and they have footrests.
Oh.
And they sell beer and wine. So I mean, it's pretty.
A lot of theaters are doing that.
I love it. I get one just because I can. Like I have to every single time I go.
And the heated seat thing is kind of neat because they can keep the air conditioning going to keep the airflow and the quality good, but you can still be in a warm seat.
We went and saw New Mutants, and we were the only 3 people in there.
Yeah, Pete and I went opening night, and we were like the only 3 people in there.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I was glad because the movie we went to this week, there was people, like a lot of older people, and there was some coughing happening, and it was like kind of freaking me out a little bit.
Oh boy!
So I was like, no coughing in public. Get the hell home. No.
I went to see the movie, and I was the only 3 people in it.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
Did you like Tenet? I'm sorry. We were just talking. We mentioned it before. I went to the theater to see Tenet, and I didn't.
I saw it twice. I saw it
Really?
in IMAX. I saw it in IMAX with Doug Allardyce. I loved it until the third act, like the last scene. God, I got an echo still.
The story was a little lacking, I think, for me. I mean, it was impressive visually. It was very impressive. I liked it.
When I saw it the second time, I liked it better.
Really?
The funny thing is, Christopher Nolan is obviously a Doctor Who fan because there's a lot of elements from both Interstellar. That was basically a Doctor Who story, and Tenet had a lot of Doctor Who elements in there. It was,
yeah, you're right about that.
Time travel thing.
Yeah, time travel and things being out of order. Like, yeah, I know who River Song is. I've seen this. So.
Well,
I see Justice
Just
League.
saying.
I hate to keep beating this, but this is my point. Like, you can't not look anywhere, and there they go again. It's non-binary Flash, gender flip teen Justice members. So here's the character.
Ooh.
The character is gender fluid and uses they them pronouns. Kid Quick. First of all, this is about the laziest character design I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what is this?
It really doesn't say very much, does it?
No, not at all.
That's a new character, though, right?
Yeah, what they're doing is they're releasing this series called Future State, which is going to be like they're shutting down their whole line of regular comic books, and for 2 months they're just releasing these horrible off-brand books where they gender swap and race swap existing characters into
Oh, see that?
like crappy versions of existing characters.
See, I don't. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I mean, I think that's kind of cool if you want to create new characters that you're
Right.
kind of targeting the younger generation that is growing up in this world and is looking at it a different way. But changing existing characters seems so
Back in the
backwards to me.
back in the 80s when we were reading comics, and Edson can talk to this point, both Marvel and DC introduced a bunch of great new characters. There was Cloak and Dagger in the Marvel universe, which is a black guy and a girl, and they're still around and they're very popular. And you had Marv Wolfman and George Perez did the Teen Titans.
Teen Titans, I love
Right.
You got
Yeah.
Cyborg, you got Firestorm, all these characters, and they got their own TV show. Like they've endured. Now what you get is crap like this.
Right.
This is a new super team on Earth 11, the world where there's a Justice Guild instead of a Justice League, and the heroes are gender flipped versions of heroes of traditional DC Earth. Well, how is that in any way creative?
Right. It's pandering.
The point is, like, why do you have to have the words, gender fluid in your main? It's like, why is that the main point of having a character?
Right.
How does it drive the story? What does it do?
How does that make it interesting?
It
doesn't matter what sexual identity they are. Let's do something interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, you missed the beginning where we went in our pronouns rant, Edson. But
Pronoun trouble.
By putting that up front, you're just kind of like, you're minimizing what's important.
Nice Daffy Duck reference, Pete.
Can I just say that I've been
pronoun trouble. I got to find that clip for next week's Open.
I've been doing pronoun action for a long time here, and I just want to remind everybody that for a long time it was roses are red, violets are blue. I'm schizophrenic, and so am I.
Yes.
That's okay though.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, and these character designs are just the worst.
So
I like the snarky, like pissed off look on all their faces too.
Hey, snark is a good thing.
I feel like snark is good, but none of these characters Mohegan Sun.
Look at that. That looks like something that was.
So it's just you can't look left, right, center, up, down. It's in your face constantly. And this stuff's all 1 week's worth of stuff. It's just incredible. And then you have this going on too. If it's not that, it's this. And I know Edson is really angry about this.
Oh, geez.
They made Batgirl.
Oh my gosh.
Batgirl joins Antifa.
Nuh-uh, shut up.
Yes.
It's not a real thing.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's not even, oh my word, really? That's not even an organized group. Stop it.
This character who's been carefully, evolved as an intelligent.
Are you serious? Like, you're being serious? Like,
Oh yeah.
Like literally, like joining Antifa?
Yes.
She's completely changed.
In the last issue,
decades of character development.
She starts, marching and they're knocking over statues and everything.
Yeah. She's screaming in the streets.
She's screaming with her fist up.
Yeah.
Which if they spent maybe just 10 minutes reading one of her comic books, she's like the total opposite of that. It's like
she's the daughter of a cop.
Right.
So am I.
There you go.
That's problematic.
Well.
Propaganda.
But you could make a daughter of a cop, like say rebel, but she's completely opposite of that. She admires him and wants to be on his side as much as she could. That's why she became Batgirl. It's like, so I don't get this.
Well, yeah, as we saw in that last issue, she goes against all of it. She takes down Bruce Wayne and she tells her father off and joins them up. But now they're because DC is putting out a whole line of YA novels. So the new YA character is named Whistle, and she's a social activist. And this is it here. This will be available in every Walmart and Target. It's a new Gotham City hero, and I don't know what their plan is. I don't know what their business plan is, except bankruptcy. Because it's not good.
And
I
it
mean,
wouldn't
they've
be
had
so-
massive layoffs already there. And,
Oh yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if they just tried to do new characters, trying to do somebody's agenda. But now you're gonna wreck all the really good characters that have been developed over the years, decades.
Some of these characters are 80-something years old, you know. But that's all right. We don't need them anymore. All right, well, I promise we're almost done with this kind of nonsense. You know, when you start plucking these and you don't realize how tedious this gets. This is kind of funny. I like Jamie Lee Curtis, but I got to go to this. I mean, did anybody see this? I mean, was she joking? Or was she serious? This was hard to tell. She posted this in August, right? You have this broken down mail truck, and she's like, I swear in broad daylight, the driver of the red truck had a red cap on with white letters. Conspiracy, outright attempt at stealing the election by denying the access of the USPS. Let's not let it happen, Joe Biden.
Wow.
Like,
That's a joke.
Boy,
That could be a
got
joke.
to be. But you don't know anymore because these people have gone off the rails, man. Off the rails. They have TDS, there's no doubt. And they just say the most outlandish crap because let's face it, they celebrities don't live in the real world. These are people who are asking to take apart capitalism from their $30 million mansions. Dismantle capitalism while I sit in my $30 million mansion that I made with capitalism. So apparently the next Halloween movie is about an enraged mob and Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
Is that who's going to go after him?
Or are they all a bunch of Jasons?
Are they all going to die?
I don't know.
Come on, Keith.
I
needs to know.
I have as much interest in the Halloween series.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I like the first one, the John Carpenter original is classic, and the second one, as dumb as it is, I still kind of like it. It's just ridiculous that like she's in the hospital and there's like two people that work there, and they decided in the typical horror movie fashion to go have sex in the back room.
As a killer.
While there's a mass murderer walking around.
Oh my God! I just found a head floating in the toilet. I better take a shower.
Right. Right. So I don't know. I grabbed this because I just saw the headline and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Because she's coming back as Laurie Strode yet again.
Oh my gosh.
She better. If she's going to be anybody in the movie, she'd have to be her.
So Halloween Kills is about a movie about a mob. So what I will tell you is that what we were seeing around the country of the power of rage of voices, big groups, and people coming together enraged at a set of circumstances, that's what the movie is.
But she talks about this was before. This was filmed though before.
Right. This was made like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. So yeah. So it was kind of, you know.
So what you're saying is she's stretching to tie it to that and make it relevant.
Exactly.
All right.
So I don't think it's as much about that as she's, you know.
Right. And you know, we talk about this a lot too with these headlines on these access media sites and stuff. A lot of it's just clickbait.
Right.
You know, you're trying to get readers. You got people stuck home, bored, and whatnot. So, you know, how much stock can you really put in it? This one though, this one we can put some stock in. This is really interesting. So, Disney Plus was hoping, overly confident that the Mandalorian season 2 was going to be their version of The Boys or Stranger Things or what have you, and it did not do very well at all.
Really?
Numbers over the weekend had it at 52,000 views after the first 3 days.
Wow.
That's horrible.
That's really bad, and you can see by this chart here, Boys season 2 opened at a 7.2% streaming share. Stranger Things season 3 at a 5.8. Mandalorian season 2 is 5.7. So it did do better than season 1.
Yeah.
Queen's Gambit 4.
You know, I don't know. That doesn't surprise me. The Mandalorian, I know I got a lot of feedback from everyone. It's really great and stuff, and I watched it. And yeah, there's
fun.
It's good. But I mean, it's just like it's boring. I don't know that I want to watch it over watching some other really exciting original content like Stranger Things or The Boys, which has got these are great stories. And Disney Plus expensive. There's plenty of Disney things out there. People probably just I don't know. What else is there, Disney? Is there anything else on your Disney Plus that's worth watching?
No.
That's what I want to know.
The answer is no. I know that last year, I think their Q3 report this year actually was, I think they made 50 million off the streaming site so far off Disney Plus, and that's like 1/4 of a Marvel budget. So it's not doing well. The parks are losing money hand over fist. They're in dire straits there.
But I mean, okay, they made something for Disney Plus, and yet again, it's another flavor of Star Wars.
Well, but it's better than any of the movies they put out. It's actually really well done.
Yeah,
you know it is. I saw some of it, but it's just like I don't want to. I don't know. Give me more choices so that we can watch. Sorry,
I enjoy it, and my favorite part of it is there's none of this identity politics or wokeness in it.
That's
none,
true. Yep.
Absolutely none. But yeah, I think they were hoping for a bigger splash. I mean, they've been marketing the crap out of Baby Yoda for over a year.
He's so cute.
He is. I got to admit, I almost bought. I was at the store the other day, right? And they got the Baby Yodas, and they have one where you push his head and he does the force thing. He makes the little baby noises, and it's awesome. And I'm like, oh, it's $20. I'm gonna buy this. I get up to the register and scan it. It was $60.
Shut up.
Creepy mother.
Yeah.
It was on the wrong shelf. So I put it back. Yeah. It's like I'm not buying this for $60.
You could buy a baby Groot thing for way cheaper than that. He's just as cute.
So the one thing I will say for Mandalorian is they have to step up the storytelling a little bit.
Right.
The first 2 episodes are just more of last year. Like you're in season 2, the story's got to start taking off. The idea that it's like a Western. It's like the cowboy who rides into town and, fights the villain of the week. And that's what it is. And it's got to do better than that. It's got to start picking up. They have 6 episodes left this year.
Yeah.
And it's gone nowhere. The first
you gotta want to tune in and watch it. They gotta make you want it.
Well, the first episode had Timothy Oliphant on it.
He was great.
Wearing Boba Fett's armor.
Oh, nice.
He found Boba Fett's armor. He bought it from Jawas that found it, from the Sarlacc, spit it out or whatever. And it was awesome. And Timothy Oliphant is great. I mean, if you ever watch Justified, he's just awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. But,
the show might have suffered a little bit from all the stuff that was going on in between, like, the whole Gina Carano cancel thing and Pedro Pascal having problems with the directors and
that's a possibility.
All that stuff might have soured it a little bit too. So I don't know.
It's funny because Pedro Pascal is basically a voiceover actor for this.
Yeah.
And, he's upset because he can't take his helmet off. But, when you auditioned for the role, they had to have made it clear that this character cannot take his helmet off, right? And now he's all upset. And you can see in that first episode with Timothy Oliphant, who took his helmet off like the whole time, he had to be seething about that.
Yeah.
And we giggle with glee.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, between him complaining and getting kicked off the set, Gina Carano getting attacked by the Twitter mob because she has common sense. And now this.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, this, I guess Disney, like you said, Pete, he took this down. Someone screen capped it. He took it down after he got attacked. He basically posted this and said, losers in 1865, losers in 1945, losers in 2020. So he's comparing them to Nazis in the Confederacy, and not smart when you're 50% of your paying customers wear that hat. It's just, you got to just be smarter than that. If you're running a business, these knuckleheads, I just have to laugh. I laugh at stuff like this. Like, what are you trying to do? And they're going to complain when Wonder Woman 84 makes half the money because this guy's in there playing Donald Trump. And half their audience won't go.
Yeah.
It's not smart. And then Paul has a great theory about this. It never dawned on me, Paul, until you said this, because you want to defend the honor of John Cusack.
I love John, but yes, tell him.
He's got a really big forehead.
And then you got Michael Shannon here saying, Trump supporters, it's your time to die.
Wow.
Oh boy.
So
it's
political theater.
It's not a good thing to say, but
no, this is not a smart thing to say at all.
And John Cusack said, his stuff, his rant
Trump
was just as bad.
Trump supporters, it's your time to die. Please pay for my movie.
Right. Please come pay for my movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Boys and girls.
Yeah. And,
I was going to say, boys and girls, I have to take my leave of you.
No.
I have to get going.
Well, it's great to have you, Alan. Thank
you very much. I apologize for eating and running, but I have to run and eat.
Before you go, do you want to pimp anything to the audience?
Pimp anything?
Yeah.
No, I just think subscribe. Check out the channel.
Yeah. You
There
got
we go.
1 second? Can you hang around for 1 second? I want to show you something.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Hang on. Let me stop the screen. I got to do this.
That's good handwriting.
It is.
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
He's
I
an
did it
artist.
myself.
It is.
So right here, almost 80% of our views on this channel are non-subscribers. That's insane.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's
So please, folks, if you're watching, just click the button. You don't even have to come back ever again.
So we need to know what that sample size is, though. The percentage doesn't really tell you how many people it is. It just tells you that most of the people are not.
I can tell you. That is based on the last 28 days of 1,255 viewers. So 80%.
1,255 people?
Wow.
So 80% of 1,255.
Holy hell.
That's
Congrats.
That's
like
not
1,000,
much.
right?
Someday
Yeah,
we're
but
gonna
still.
have. Someday we're gonna have 12,000 per video, and more. So
Have a great night,
I
everyone.
was
Thanks
doing-
for letting me join.
Good to
Nice
see
to
you.
see ya.
Hasta la
See you guys.
pasta, Alan. Bye. So, wait, where were we? Oh, Paul was gonna have a theory on John Cusack.
I was just John Cusack, and with who's the Halloween one? I just thought who that
Jamie
was.
Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis and the other guy. They're at the point to where acting, they're not going to get those young roles anymore.
Right.
And for the people to go see them, they better at least be part of the young people by, saying
Really
this is how it is. Because John is, you can see he's got the Ronald Reagan hairdo going now, that jet black shit, and he's white as, and it's just, not to say he doesn't feel that way, but for him to be that, graphic
out
and
there. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if anybody else did that, on the other, you'd get arrested. It was like, holy shit. Johnny Depp did less, and
Yeah.
I mean, this is just as bad as what's his face, Snowflake and Safe Space guy.
Kibble Smith, yeah.
Yeah, Kibblesmith saying, that basically, it's just as bad as what they're doing when they say all these horrible things about their audience. And oh, by the way, buy my book.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. But that's an interesting theory, Paul, that they're trying to stay relevant with the youngins by running with the narrative that the youngins.
Makes sense.
but they're they're really taking it to the limit.
Right.
Killed. I mean,
Yeah, when you wish.
Yeah,
that.
that's kind of that's kind of
Yeah.
I could understand killing when it comes to like a New England Patriot. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, it. There it is. But we won't get into that.
So I was actually hoping Jude was going to be here. He's the game guy here. And
Oh yeah.
I saw this. So Marvel released their Avengers video game and it lost almost $50 million. Did you see this? Ow.
Well, they made their main character somebody that nobody cares about.
Yeah, they promoted it that way too. Again, Ms. Marvel, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
And there was the whole uproar once the character models leaked. Everybody was joking about you hired their stuntmen because they look nothing like they did in the movies. They just they look like cosplayers.
right.
You know, so this game people have had it out for this game for a while.
Yeah, I mean, this report says it only sold 3 million or so, and it cost like 170 to 190 to produce.
Wow.
Ooh, ow, man.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Maybe people are getting sick of playing games.
No, I don't think that's it at all. I mean, Jude did the Star Wars video game thing and put it on the. It's got the most views so far. So gaming is definitely the way to go. This is shocking, and it's again, like Pete said, they marketed it wrong and they put characters in that people don't really like. I mean, Ms. Marvel, her book has been canceled how many times now, Edson?
Oh wow, yeah.
Canceled and rebooted.
And they just rebooted 3 or 4 times, and she's still a relatively new character compared to, all the other characters. I mean,
Right.
It was like a few years back.
She's like knockoff Reed Richards, She just she stretches and makes dumb jokes, and it's.
They're obviously trying to groom these, newer characters for the future, but it doesn't seem to be working at the moment.
Right.
I'm sure they already have a series planned for her.
Probably.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they've already cast it.
Yeah, this is something too. I don't know. Did anybody read this?
Oh, I read that. Yeah.
No, I'm not a gamer, so forgive my ignorance, but I know my daughter's into Roblox and stuff like that, and she plays unsupervised on the internet, which terrifies me. But she doesn't live with me yet. And she talks about bullies and she calls them daters. Who knows what daters? I mean, they're probably saying some raunchy stuff in there. So it looks like Amazon's going to put some kind of a AI into this thing that'll take toxic players out and put them into a separate pool. This is something I struggle with because this is censorship, and this is, I mean, I get why they probably should, but is it the right thing to do? Is my question. I mean, how do you guys feel about something like that?
It's like one of those in a perfect world scenarios. All the racists would be clumped together, and all the hateful people would be clumped together, and all the trolly jerks would be clumped together. But that's just not the world we live in. If you really don't want to hear people being obnoxious, can't you just push mute, or turn them off?
Or I mean, you make a good point, and I think that it doesn't make sense that you're putting them in a different. If they're doing something offensive, you get kicked out. It's either in or out. It shouldn't be just where you're herding them together into a different group. It's like if they're really doing something like hard profanity, then they don't play the game anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
On a business standpoint, then you lose a customer. At least I'm thinking at least this way. You've got all your jerks, but they're paying jerks.
But they're just being jerks to each other. It's not as fun being a jerk to another jerk. It's probably more fun to be a jerk to someone that's
I mean, I wish Alan was still here because he could comment on this. And I've played a little bit of World of Warcraft, and they have certain limits where if you go over, that's it. You're banned. You first of all, you get thrown out for maybe a couple of weeks, a month, and if you do it again, that's it. You don't play anymore, and they're fine with that.
But I think Pete's right though. They want that revenue stream. They want
you're right, but there's certain things that will bother the majority of it that they don't want that ruined. They don't want their gameplay ruined.
Yeah,
so
I understand that.
It's like a balancing act, I guess.
Yeah. I read the comments of that article.
Oh, that's a good idea. I never thought to do that.
Oh yeah, they're interesting. Some of the same people comment on every one that you.
Yeah, again, the keyboard warriors who don't have jobs.
Oh
right?
yes, I'm pretty sure they're a bunch of incels that live in their mom's basement.
Yeah, one for snowflakes. There you go.
Yep, exactly.
They're cool.
Because you don't want to be like yelled at and and whatever. So you're a snowflake because you don't like obnoxious behavior. I guess I don't know.
Well, a lot of people just want to play a game. I know. There are times when my daughter's on these things and somebody comes in and starts causing a problem. She leaves and joins a different server. Is what she does.
Right.
Which is smart.
And I think that's probably the norm.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing with bullying, it's just it's Can somebody not have headphones on again? I got the echo back.
No, I'm
like every time we
nothing's
change
changed.
personnel. Hang
Same.
on.
Not me.
All right.
No, I got
Oh,
the.
it's fine. I did the switch thing again. Like Alan left, so it's every time we
Oh.
change personnel, I have to reset my mic. I don't know why. Thank you, StreamYard. You're well worth the money.
How's the adult beverage?
It's pretty much
It's
gone.
all gone. All gone.
All gone.
Nice, Stace. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm terrible at video games. I have no interest in video games. I don't have the time for video games. So I just thought that was interesting because of the idea that it's that whole idea of segregating people into pools or rooms. That it's like I get it, but at the same time, is that the right thing to do? It's definitely a conundrum.
Mm.
Definitely a conundrum.
I mean, in all things being equal, people shouldn't be jerks.
Yeah,
but they are.
I want to live in that world. where people
Yeah.
are jerks,
What internet are you using, Peter? Because
it's the dark web. They're all good there.
Yeah.
Like, get on the internet. It's licensed to be an asshole. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
So, DC, we saw layoffs at DC. I think more are coming, and now it looks like Marvel is not far behind. I'm not surprised. Marvel owned by Disney, of course. They started small though. They didn't do what DC did, where DC, how many did they let go? They like lopped off half their staff.
Yeah, they did call it a bloodbath for a reason.
Right. This was, they just took two higher ups, Marvel Comics publisher John Nee and Marvel Entertainment producer Judith Stevens. So they started, unlike DC, who kind of ran the gamut. Like they got rid of lower level people and a couple of the higher ups. They're starting at Marvel by trimming the top.
Well, it's for the money, they're the less creative people.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, their books are not selling, and here's here's a prime example
Wow.
of why. I mean, I this is stunning. Did anybody see this?
I saw it. Yep. I just couldn't believe it though.
So apparently they just took artwork from this book and just pasted it into another one.
Yep.
What?
As
Just
part
to
of a
save-
flashback scene. And usually when you do a flashback scene, like I read Amazing Spider-Man, and if they go back to an older era of Spider-Man, the artist will try to duplicate what it looked like, but it's still his style, and it's still a different rendering of that old comic. And they kind of fade the colors. They make it look like, oh, it's a flashback, and they're paying homage to Steve Ditko or John Romita. But this, they just copied and pasted.
Oh,
so they didn't have to pay anybody to do new art.
Right. That's it.
Oh wow.
So I guess the reason this is here twice is this is from
The original.
this would be from X-Men Volume 5, number 12, with by Lentiel Francis Yu, right? So they have the panels here, and then and 2 issues later,
Oh wow.
the same story. They just copied and pasted it. Marvel opted to reprint Yu's interior work from X-Men number 12, changing only the word bubbles to tell the tale from Genesis's point of view.
Yikes.
So, in a cost-saving measure, yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Marvel fucking recycled 14 out of 22
Wow.
pages. of X-Men
14
12,
pages?
and had
had
the
the
gall
gall.
to charge $3.99. Oh
Wow.
my god.
Yep.
Wow.
If that's not a sign that trouble's coming from Marvel and in comic books in general, it's sad. This industry, 5-6 years ago, was booming.
Oh wow. Yeah. I can't
And
believe it was that recent.
Well, I know because I did a business plan for a comic book store.
Yep.
And the
Yep,
numbers
I
were
read that.
there. The numbers were there. And books back then that were selling about 100,000, like Batman, are down to 60. And that's top selling.
That's
Most
top.
titles don't sell 10,000 anymore. It's horrible. I mean, they probably don't recoup the cost of the print.
Yeah, that's why. What was it, a couple of years ago? They started this new thing where they would have everything be a limited series, and then it would kind of hedge their bets. And if it sold a lot, then it's really not a limited series. We're continuing on.
We'll continue, or we
and if
make
it didn't sell, it was like, well, we're going to end it anyways. It's like it was like I can't believe they thought maybe they did fool some people. I don't know, but it was so obvious.
Oh, they fooled me. No.
I would say it's tough shit for the people who are coming up with new comics.
Well, and that's why you go and do it through Kickstarter or Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Like Ethan Van Sciver decided he's not going to do these corporate mandated comics where they're doing all this political stuff. Right. And he's made $2 million on 2 issues of his own comic.
But he's an established cartoon.
Yeah, he's an established
guy.
There are guys that are not established making a couple grand, 5, 6, 10. Yeah. And that's the way to go now. If you want to make comic books and you want to make money at comic books, just do it yourself. Self-publish, put up a crowdfunding site and go for it.
So you think it's the content?
Paul.
It's the content. Do you think are they competing with like a manga? Like, is that like a thing?
Manga is huge. It
is.
American comic books are not selling dick.
Right.
Manga is crushing it globally, not just in.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. And I know like my cousin's little girl's like 12 and she's huge into manga. So that whole generation of kids, like where maybe they would have been steered toward traditional comics are kind of going that way. So, I was just wondering if, that's kind of a factor. And
you're spot on. And then the legacy comic fans like us, the books are destroyed. They're wrecking the books. They're taking the characters that we grew up on and mangling.
Exactly. So the combination of the two things.
Right.
They're mongling them.
And and then to top it off, you get the knucklehead writers and artists going on Twitter and telling us if we don't like it that we're freaking ists and phobes and assholes.
Smart. That's
and attacking us. If we go, hey, your book is crap now, well then F off. We don't want your business. What is that?
I know.
And they've been able to get away with it. And I hope you're right, Pete. I hope Disney, like the next time one of these Marvel artists, like say Dan Slott, does something stupid like that, they come down on him.
Yeah, I mean, you can only not make money for so long, and Disney is experiencing, the full brunt of it. So I mean, they want to make money now.
It's been incredible to me that these actors and creators in comics and whatnot can just go on social media, attack people left, right, center, and have no repercussion for it.
But there is repercussion. They're not selling, right?
And then they go back on after the sales drop and attack the fans more because the sales drop. It's the reason the books aren't selling is because we're assholes, not because their book sucks.
Yeah, they
not because their movie sucks, not because their TV show sucks.
Yeah, that doesn't really seem to make sense.
You have what's his name? Eric Kripke, the guy from The Boys. He's doing it too. And there's only so long people can stomach that crap. I don't care how entertaining your show is. If you're going to continually tell me I'm an asshole because I don't like certain things about your show, I'm just going to stop watching it. And he goes, go ahead, don't watch it. Okay. We'll see how Amazon likes that when they're sinking all this money into your show and nobody watches it. It's bad for business. I don't know. Like, when did they start doing this? They started doing this, I think, around Ghostbusters 2016. That's when it started.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole campaign was just...
Right. They reacted negatively to the trailer, and the Paul Feig and all the people associated with it started attacking the fans. And that's, to me, that's where it started. And it never stopped.
It didn't work then. It doesn't work now. And they're not getting it. I mean, movies that play right into the role. Like, what was it? The Critical Drinker was talking about Annihilation. He didn't talk too well about it, but he was talking about Annihilation being more or less an all-female cast, and nobody listened. Nobody mentions that movie at all.
I didn't know it was an all-female cast.
Yeah, it was an almost all-female. It wasn't completely all-female, but like the main team of scientists that go in to study the
Natalie
monsters.
Portman one. The Natalie.
Yeah. But it doesn't pander. It doesn't make all of the men that are in it look like bumbling idiots. They have weaknesses. They actually are well-written characters or better than Ghostbusters.
They're not like Mikey Spock on the new Star Trek, where she can
Yeah, exactly.
fly
Yeah,
through
yeah.
a
They're all
wormhole in a
not
spacesuit,
perfect. Yeah.
crash into a spaceship, fall through the atmosphere, crash land on a planet in a spacesuit, and get up and walk away.
Yeah.
Because she's the
Yeah.
best ever.
You don't want to come
You
out of
didn't
a
like
movie.
Ghostbusters?
Oh,
I didn't see Ghostbusters.
Well,
I
I'll let
opted
you know,
not to-
Chris Hemsworth is in it, and
I own
it
it.
kind of made the movie. He's so pretty.
But that's the thing right there. He's a perfect example, though. He's beyond dumb, and he's just a stupid cartoon character.
Absolutely.
And he's there so the women can make fun of him. And
Yeah. Well,
and-
women have been getting that for many, many years. So you know.
right. It was just poorly written. It was awful. But I do own it. I bought it on Black
I
Friday.
like Kate McKinnon.
What?
I am a Kate
You
McKinnon.
what?
fan.
I'm a completist. I had that. It was $2, $3 on Black.
I didn't mind. It was a hot summer day. We went to see it. It was like we got respite from the hot that day.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I went to see it at the. It's now a regular theater, but they used to have in Simi Valley, California. They had a big box theater that was $4, and it was. They were they weren't first run, but they weren't second run. They were kind of in between.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for $4 to watch it.
That's not bad. I went to a matinee. It was all good.
Yeah.
That's
But now it's the fun stuff. Deadpool.
wow.
Paul, you love Deadpool.
I like Deadpool, but this is going to be interesting. I guess. I mean, is this going to be a movie, or is this? I didn't even get to
2 MCU films and a crossover
yes.
with Spider-Man. Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it. Most Marvel news is just clickbait to me.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's that kind of assumes that the deal with Sony is going to continue. Because doesn't he have only 2 movies left? He's got Spider-Man 3 and then a cameo and something else, and then he's done.
Ryan Reynolds, you mean?
No, Spider-Man.
No.
Oh, Tom Holland.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
So this is kind of assuming that this is either knows something that the general public doesn't, or they're just assuming that the Sony deal is going to continue.
Mm.
Well, I got to tell you, the first. Did you read this series, Edson?
No.
I did. And the first, I'd say 10 to 12 issues were really super entertaining, very funny.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a good one too, where they go to see Batman versus Superman.
Oh man, I gotta look that up now.
It was really funny. And they come out and they're like, "Oh, come on! How could they both have a mother named Martha, and that makes them best friends?" It was really fun. It was good.
So that's an actual comic, like crossover as a comic?
Yeah, I think it's still going. I quit after like
it's
20
still going.
issues.
Oh, okay.
It might be. But this was about, I'd say 2016, 15, 16.
Oh. Okay. It's not.
Yeah,
still-
it was good. It was good for a while there. And it's sardonic humor. It was just sardonic humor. you know?
Yeah. The two of them, those snarky, like,
Yep.
yeah.
Right. So that would be kind of fun.
That would be
think
fun.
I'd like to see
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
So yeah, I wonder if they have it in here. No, but yeah, I mean, you can see the relationship they had with each other. They're just always at each other's throats, kind of.
That's awesome.
Like Deadpool can't understand why Spider-Man just won't kill. Just do it already, and it was good. And Deadpool's bitter because he gets mistaken for Spider-Man a lot.
Mm.
Oh,
In
that's
the comics, in the Marvel universe, like people walk, "Hey, Spider-Man," and he's like, because he's got big black eyes. So it was if they base it on this this Joe Kelly run, which was the first dozen or so issues, it would be really good.
That
It
sounds
really
good.
That's a big if.
would. What are you saying, Edson? You don't trust him?
No. I mean, I just hope it doesn't turn into like the main plot is why Deadpool's suddenly gender fluid or something like that.
Oh.
Well, you know what?
Saying it's
What scares me more than anything is that Disney now owns Fox, and I can't see Deadpool being what Deadpool was in the first 2 movies.
right.
Oh, really? You really think they would take
Yeah.
I wouldn't before
How
this
many
year,
Disney
but
movies are rated R with gore and violence and potty mouth?
It's the first movie I took my son to see that was rated R. Deadpool.
Deadpool, nice.
Well, because he was like waiting for it for over a year, and then all of a sudden we find it's rated R. I'm like, all right. I think he was like 14 or something like that.
No, that's yeah.
Yeah, but there's boobies in it though, so it was like, you know.
And he takes the board up a poop shoot, but you know.
He did. That wasn't even, you know. It's like, it's
Yeah.
worth it. It's worth it. It's good.
In you know in the movie there they got Colossus like perfect. Like
I love that. Oh, that was great.
The best in the Juggernaut and like they in Cable like
So good.
they got those characters right. And I think a lot of that has to do with Ryan Reynolds being a huge comic book fan and having a lot of control over it.
Yeah.
Will he have that kind of control at Disney?
Yeah,
Will Disney take the risk to do that?
I think so. I mean, it's a proven franchise. I think, don't you think? I mean,
It'll make a ton of money. Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely it is.
And I remember
got to get out of his way.
Paul, Jackie, and I went to see Deadpool 2, and we actually walked into the theater and said something to the effect of, "Well, we thought they should have never made a second because they would never get it right again." And we said, "Let's go watch the character formerly known as Deadpool or whatever we said." We thought it'd be hot garbage, and I think it was better than the first one.
Oh, it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I hope this is right, but you know, I Pete, you're right. I mean, it's that whole thing where they're going to announce as much as they can to try to get investors to get excited about it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, where is this based out of? Because there's a lot of the like, oh, Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine. Are you sure?
Oh, you jumped me.
Sorry. But I mean, it's is it based on actual knowledge from somebody at Marvel? And Marvel is pretty tight-lipped about what it's doing. It lets you know it lets you know what it wants you to know when it wants you to know it.
Well, it's Mikey Sutton, the rumor mill. The rumor mill. Insiders tell me that both companies are ecstatic about the idea of a buddy movie with Spider-Man and Deadpool. Yeah, we're all excited about that. Do you have the money to do it?
You know, I mean, it's like you know, Ryan Reynolds would like a Deadpool 3. Suddenly, there's a Deadpool 3 happening. No. Where did the source come from?
Right.
If it's, I think I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, and you're right, and they've got to fix that contract with Tom Holland. He won't be able to do this if Sony takes the rights to Spider-Man back, and Marvel can't have Spider-Man, then you don't get this.
Right.
So yeah. So you jumped me, Pete. I was going there next. Another fun rumor. See, this is the fun part where we get to geek out over rumors. Who cares if they're true or not? It's the idea that, like, this is why we love this stuff, right? It's the idea that what if it does happen?
How could they bring him back? I don't understand.
What I hear is that basically,
I know, but like, I went through a lot with Wolverine, you know, and it's just like I don't know if I can revisit that.
Well, lay down on the couch and let's talk about what happened.
It was sad.
Are you traumatized?
A little bit.
Yeah. That Logan movie was fantastic.
Logan, that's what it was, yeah. It was great.
I think the only thing that could have made it better if it was in black and white.
Funny you say that. The Blu-ray has a black and white version.
Get out of here.
Oh, nice.
I shit you not. Yeah.
Do you think they'll offshoot from that, Logan? Those kids, where the kids are. I mean, that's what I kind of figured was going to happen.
X-23 has their own comic book.
Yep.
I don't know if a 10-year-old girl is going to sell enough tickets.
Oh,
But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what Marvel does with the X-Men. But I guess the idea here is because they acquired the rights to the X-Men back through their Fox purchase. They want to tie all the old superhero films that happened while Marvel didn't have the license to the characters. They want to tie it all back to what they have now. And they want to do it using the multiverse that they're going to introduce in the next Doctor Strange movie, which they kind of already did. Avengers Endgame already kind of brought the multiverse into it.
Yeah.
Kind of. But Doctor Strange, what's it called? Like
the Multiverse of Madness.
That's it. Multiverse of Madness. It's in the title, for Christ's sake. Apparently they're going to try to bring back all the Fox X-Men and just for quick appearances and stuff, just to say, look, this all matters now. So there's an offer out to him as of September 10th. I don't know if he's responded. I don't think he has, but They're trying. So this is a real rumor, because if he says yes, they will make it happen. So an offer is out. Yeah, and apparently they're trying to get Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Oh,
and
wow.
Jamie Foxx, and pull in all these people and try to bring them all together in Doctor Strange and tie it. There it is, Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be kind of cool, and he'd have to still be younger Wolverines. They might have to de-age him because he's like 53 now. Hugh Jackman, 52, 53, somewhere in there. So I think it would be great. What do you think? Edson hates the X-Men movies, so he could give a shit.
I'm so confused. I got lost like about halfway
I
through.
want them to do it right. Damn it.
They're confusing. Like you got to a certain point, and I just kind of like lost track of everything, and then I went back to Logan. But there are like 3 or 4 movies in there I don't think I ever saw because it got confusing.
Yeah, I read a lot of almost all the X-Men comics, and I was confused too. So don't.
Okay,
don't get
that's good.
started.
I mean, I used to when my boys were little. I used to watch, the Saturday morning version of X-Men. That's where I started watching it, and the movies were great. But they lost me, so I don't know.
The whole problem, we talked about this recently, is that the first movie was designed to fail. A guy named Tom Rothman was running Fox at the time, and he greenlit the project, but he was convinced that superhero movies were a waste of time and money. So he threw a very little bit of money at it, and he hired Bryan Singer, and he expected it to bomb. And Bryan Singer had to take his little budget, and he had to cherry pick easy characters to do that fans and normies, would identify with and want to watch on screen. So he mixed up the whole lineup and continuity right out of the gate. And then the movie was a big hit. So from the minute that movie was a hit, they were trying to fix it and fix it badly. Because some of the characters were like amalgams of 2 different characters. Nothing was really right. Wolverine was the closest one, but he's wrong. He's supposed to be 5'4", not 6'2".
And Canadian.
And Canadian. Yeah. So right. So and he's the closest one they got right. I can't think of another one that was even close.
Beast.
Xavier.
Xavier.
When they rebooted it as First Class.
Yeah.
They got Beast better. Beast was better. Although, he was only in the last crappy one anyway with Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. That was a bad choice.
I absolutely hated how they portrayed
Jean Grey.
Her too. But it was like the way they did. I don't think they ever called him Quicksilver, but the way they did his powers, it's like that was so stupid.
Yeah, Quicksilver.
It was much better in Avengers. It was actually believable, but the way he just stopped time, basically, it's like what the heck, and just repositioned all the objects. I mean, that was, that alone would make the movie just come to an end. Why wouldn't he just solve everything?
It was a great scene, though.
Yeah. All right.
Cinematically,
I guess. Yeah.
When you're translating these things to screen, you also have to.
Yeah, I know.
The popcorn moments have to be there,
And the whole Dark Phoenix thing with Jean, that was
twice.
That was one of my favorite storylines. So
twice.
That's where I started getting lost. I think that's where I started getting lost.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
And they butchered it because that story it took how many issues of the comic? 30-ish issues of the comic.
Yeah, there was a big
run.
The whole
story. It was a big run. That's something you can't do in a 2-hour movie.
Right.
And they shouldn't.
And that's the Yuts doing Battlestar Galactica.
That's why you don't do it in a movie. You do it in a series of movies.
Right. So this is interesting. Did you guys see this? This popped up today.
I did.
Right before we started. Wow. So apparently, he did an interview for this book that's coming out.
Yep.
And he has plans for his own sequel trilogy.
Interesting.
That includes Darth Maul and Darth Talon as villains, Luke rebuilding the Jedi Order from survivors of Order 66, Leia forming the New Republic and becoming the Chosen One. Very interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if he decides to do this, and I don't think money will be an issue, right? I mean, it's George Lucas.
It's,
I mean,
no,
sold
yeah.
Disney, but I still think he should try to buy his property back, but they'll never sell it.
No.
They ruined it. But then they might have to do that. What's that thing called, Pete? The mirror thing, the Veil of the Force.
Oh yeah, where
to get rid of the crappy
time travel and
to get rid of this dog shit trilogy that Disney put out. Really interesting. So it says here it starts a few years after Return of the Jedi, and we establish pretty quickly that there's this underworld. There are offshoot stormtroopers who started their own planets, and Luke is trying to restart the Jedi. He puts out the word to about 100,000 Jedi, maybe 50 or 100 are left. The Jedi have to grow again from scratch. Luke has to find 2- and 3-year-olds and train them. It'll be 20 years before you have a new generation of Jedi.
Sounds like somebody was actually thinking about this.
What? Thought put into Star Wars? Which is, I go back to The Mandalorian. One of the things I really like about Mandalorian is the fact that it takes place in this exact time frame.
Yep.
And you have
Get Sebastian Stan.
Huh?
Get Sebastian Stan to play Luke Skywalker because he looks just like him.
That's a good idea.
I mean, this obviously he'd have to be young, and Mark Hamill is not, and Carrie Fisher's dead.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to recast anyway, or make it completely CGI, which is going to look terrible.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Not with.
But get Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker.
That's a good idea. Yeah, you could find somebody who resembles Carrie Fisher enough, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I this interests me because what I really like with Mandalorian is it's funny that the people left over from the Empire don't really know where they fit in. So some are mercenaries, some are trying to reform the Empire, and it's kind of fun that way. It's a little chaotic. And I think this would be much more interesting than anything J.J. Abrams gave us.
Oof. Yep. And but can they rely on Ray Park? Didn't you say that he's a bit of a drinker and kind of a little rough to work with?
Yeah, he's hell on wheels, that guy. Yeah. It's not for me to tell tales out of school. That's for someone else if they ever come on as a guest. And I'm going to go after the guest. But yeah, I've heard some stories about Mr. Park. But yeah, I think, that'd be cool. It's like anything else. You see Antonio Brown in football, he needs that paycheck. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to stay off social media and I'm going to cash my checks.
For a little while.
For a little while. And I think you could probably get Ray Park to do that too.
Yeah.
Then again, you could probably put anybody in that.
Yeah, that's true. They can recast as well.
Come on. Are you going to really know if it's him or not?
If he fights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray Park kind of got his thing going.
Yeah. That'd be cool though. I mean, definitely food for thought. And I guess he'll have to have the Oscar Pistorius legs, right?
Yep.
Because like in the end of Solo, he's got the metal legs because he got chopped in half.
Yeah, in Rebels he had a big spider body for a while.
Oh, okay.
And then he got the double jointed legs, and then he got regular human legs.
Okay.
Well, metal legs, but yeah.
Metal legs. Okay. We'll see. So, yeah, no shit. I've never seen a more disastrous piece of garbage in my life.
Oh, wait, they're talking about the original one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I think David Ayer, I think he's making his case because they gave Zack Snyder his movie back and he's recut it, and HBO Max is going to air the Justice League the way it was intended, or even more so. He's adding all kinds of crap to it. It looks like David Ayer wants to do the same thing with Suicide Squad. I mean, this movie was bad.
Yeah. If the Snyder cut does well, I'm sure they probably will, because they'll be looking around for what else do we got.
Right.
What else are fans going to want? So yeah. So if the Snyder cut does well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. So here's a tweet where it says they cut and rearranged 40 plus minutes from the first Suicide Squad. No wonder it was such a mess. And David Ayer himself responded, "It was ripped to pieces. I can't emphasize that enough."
Jeez.
Now, and I believe that it's here it is. For sure, that became a fact. What is it? Just goes to show how influential to the final cut those music trailers were. Blah blah blah. That sure became a factor, but the reason was BVS got chewed up by the critics and the success of Deadpool. The studio leadership at the time panicked. Then major elements of my cut were ripped out before I could mature the edit. Then Johns wrote pages I had to reshoot.
Ouch.
And we'd heard rumors of that back when BVS shit the bed. That they were not only messing with Suicide Squad, they messed with Justice League. And the idea was nobody liked the dark Batman versus Superman, the brooding Superman. We got to brighten it up. We got to make it happier. Yep. So they just ripped the two movies to pieces. And then you end up with a Franken movie, which just doesn't work on any level. So David Ayer is a good filmmaker. Fury's really good and other stuff he's done. So I was actually shocked at like how incompetent this thing seemed to be when it came out. But I've always kind of kept it in the back of my head that it wasn't what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's one of these things like, The Hobbit sucks. But yeah, there was a lot of drama behind it and it could have been a good movie.
Right.
And yeah, Suicide Squad was pretty terrible. Maybe if they didn't interfere, it could have been good, but
Right. So a couple more left. Let's see. I'm going to skip that one. Let's go this one. This looks like fun.
Interesting.
So they're going to release some graphic novels tying into Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah, they did that with the other Godzilla movies. They did like prequel books.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this is going to be the same thing. I have the one that was a prequel to the 2014 Godzilla. I didn't pick up the one that was the sequel to the last one. And it just didn't interest me, but they're going to have to explain. It's going to explain one, why Kong is bigger, and then two, whatever happens with Godzilla. Because the entire point of the second comic, the second prequel, was to explain how did he get those big back fins when he didn't have them in the first one.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. So it's going to explain. Okay, why is Kong big? Because he's growing. They say that in the first one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't wait for this King Kong versus Godzilla. It's like, when is it going to be released now? I mean, it keeps getting pushed. Is it next?
I don't remember. Maybe. God. I mean, I know it was pushed back twice, but not because of the plague. It was pushed back for other reasons, and which I don't know offhand, but I know it was pushed back twice, and then the plague happened. So now who knows what's going to happen? But I have an interesting theory on what's going to happen. We got that new animated Godzilla.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now the last time Toho made some Godzilla movies, they were animated, and that doesn't null and void the contract between Legendary and Toho.
Okay.
They made 3 animated movies in between while we were waiting for Godzilla sequels.
Yeah.
I think this new that the new animated one is so that they can keep producing Godzilla content without null and voiding the deal with Legendary. So I think we're going to get more Godzilla movies.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, cool. I mean,
great.
These movies are fun.
Yeah.
These movies are fun, and I just, I hope I get to see this third one in a theater, because I want
absolutely
the teeth to get rattled out of my skull, like gone on the floor. I want to pick them up when I leave. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong. I'm clicking tabs, and I'm like, that's not a. And then this one, Edson brought to my attention.
Oh.
When did I ask for the sequel? Just like 3 weeks ago?
Yep. We're excited. I think you were excited about the second issue.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, I just finished the run. Yeah. This is cool. For those who don't know, the Three Jokers was a limited series that released just this past 3 months by DC. The idea is Jeff Johns got the idea that what if this whole time there was more than one Joker that was antagonizing Batman? It wasn't just a Joker. And it was so well told. The art, the pacing, everything about it. Did you finish it, Edson?
Yeah, I finally did.
Okay,
Yeah,
and I want to bring my one quibble. Was the end when Red Hood, when Jason tapes the note to her door and walks away and it falls off.
Then what was the point of that then?
Why wouldn't he slip it under the door? He exposes his secret identity on the note.
Yeah,
he goes, I can stop being Red Hood now, and he just tapes it on the door.
And it makes
anybody
no
can
sense.
read that, and like
it makes no sense. It's like
absolutely dumb.
I mean, obviously it was done that way just so that it would be slipped away, but it's like that. It just makes no sense to do that.
It was so dumb. Yeah. But aside from that, that was my one quibble with the whole book. It satisfied me, and it definitely left the door open for more storytelling. But I think what's phenomenal about it in this era where comic books are not selling, issue number 1 sold 300,000 copies in the first week and had to go to a second printing. Wow. And I don't know what the sales are for the overall series. I got to look that up, but I'm guessing it's got to be $500,000 at least for the three books. So it clearly made them money. And the best part was because you know why? It was handled like a classic Batman comic. The characters
I hope they see something like this and say, oh, you know, we got to get back to this.
Batgirl was great.
Oh, Batgirl was awesome.
Batgirl was great. Red Hood was great. The relationship that started to bud between the two of them was great. All the different Jokers were handled well. Batman was great. You know, everything about it, and it felt like a classic book. And I think that's why you saw those sales numbers. I mean, here we go again. Here you have something that's done well. It stays true to the characters. There's no identity politics in it, and it sells 500,000 copies.
Yep.
I'm sure AT&T probably took notice.
And they will again when Future State comes out in January and February, and those sales, you know, they're gonna realize what they're doing wrong, if they even care enough to keep DC around. I don't think they do, to be honest. But
I admit that when I first saw the solicitation, you know, when the previews for this, and it was like 3 Jokers, so this just sounds stupid. But then when I read it, I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is a great story." It's like it even makes sense. It's like he probably would do something like that to torture Batman that way, and it all made sense just because they wrote it that way. And I came out of it. It's like it's a great story with great character development, and it's like for all you know, for all anybody knows, any of the Jokers could be, you know, whatever sexual identity. It didn't matter what. It's like the point is, it's what happened in the story. It had nothing to do with that.
Right. Exactly. I felt the same way, Edson. I was going to skip it completely. You know, when all the promotional materials were coming out, and I go down to Dan at BoomTube, and he's like, "Oh, 3 Jokers is going to be great." And I'm like, "What's it about?" And he goes, "Oh, it's the idea that there's more than one Joker." And I'm like, "Yeah,
I know."
and issue 1 came out, and it was a slow week. Like I think I had 2 books on my pull list, and I was like, "All right." And John Amenta was down there, like, you know, buy it. So, yeah, no, it was so good. It was the best comic I've read in a really, really long time. So, yeah,
this is what they have to go back to.
They even found a way where the Joe Chill is the guy who killed
right
Thomas and Martha Wayne, and there's such a great. They finally Batman and Joe Chill settle things once.
That was like an amazing sequence. Oh my gosh. The way that happened.
Not just the sequence, but the denouement when he goes to the hospital at the end.
Yep.
Bruce. It was awesome.
It was
awesome. It was the whole thing. Yeah.
I love so many little scenes. It's like when Red Hood and Batgirl asking, it was like, if he knew who the Joker was, he'd tell us, right? Oh, definitely. then you find out, and Batman says it with a serious face. No, I tell you. And then you find out he knew all along.
He knew all along.
Right from the beginning. It's like, It's amazing.
Right. No, it was so well done. And tell me when you were reading it, you couldn't see it translated to film. Because
oh my gosh.
It really is a film storyboard. The art is beautiful, and the pacing. Like they would take a whole page for Batman to go like through a door and down a hall and go left, and a whole page of that instead of just 2 panels or 1 panel. So you could really just feel it breathe and play out. It was so good, so good. So good on them. That's a win for comics, at least in 2020. Yeah.
And maybe this will, steer them in the right direction. Yeah. I don't know. Either that or the really
Do you
good
really
writers.
believe that in your heart of hearts?
Maybe not, but I mean, if they see the sales, but even if it doesn't, maybe it will steer some of these really good writers and artists to just break away from the whole big company mentality and do what Ben Skyver did and what Tynion's doing with his own printing.
Right. It's going to be an interesting end of this year into next year to see what happens with our entertainment.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And how it dovetails into the coof going away, getting back to normal. And it's going to be very interesting. All right, let's go around the horn. Everybody pimp something. We'll start with Lady Geek Time. What you got for us?
I have nothing. I don't know.
That's my favorite.
What, your favorite is nothing?
No.
What kind of things are you pimping? Like
whatever you want. What are you up to? What are you reading or watching? You have a recommendation?
I just finished watching the entire series of Dexter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's one I still have to do.
And it's crazy because I started watching it, and about halfway through, they made the announcement that they're bringing it back next year.
They're bringing it back. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Excellent.
Watch it if you haven't watched it. Like
it was a very well done. I have to go back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Michael C. Hall. I see all the props were given to him back in the day, and I didn't have Showtime.
Nice, Edson. What you got?
I finally went back and to the year 1984 to watch the movie 1984. I don't think I don't remember ever watching that movie before with John Hurt. Have you ever seen that?
I started watching it this summer. I couldn't. I turned it off. Yeah.
I bought the Criterion the last time they had the 50% off Criterion Blu-ray sale. I bought it and watched it that night.
Oh, really?
I was back in July. Yeah.
And it was, because I recently reread the book again, and it was like that once. I was like the one scene. It was like, oh my gosh, when he's being tortured and convinced, they're trying to convince him to align his mind with the party, and the way they do it is by asking him how many fingers am I holding up. He's holding up 5 fingers, and he's holding up 4, and he wants him to say 5, and I'm like, Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's the same thing, the same sequence. I didn't realize. I couldn't believe I missed all that.
Yeah.
Wow, what a connection.
Yeah. Thought police are coming for you, Pedro.
I just finished rereading the Zombie Survival Guide. It was written by Max Brooks, Mel Brooks' son.
Do you know something we don't know that's coming?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Sounds awesome. Is it really good?
It's a really good book. I mean, it's written, no pun intended, dead serious as to how to deal with The Walking Dead. But the part that I really like is the last chapter is called Recorded Attacks. And it goes back as far as like the caveman days. Like they actually find fossilized skulls that have been smashed in. And and like wondering, like, did the Egyptians remove the brain as a necessity? But yeah, it goes through. It talks about Hadrian's Wall, and I believe is in ancient Rome, how it was built to keep out the Walking Dead, and how a disappearance of somebody in a national park in Los Angeles, which leads to an outbreak in the sewers in Los Angeles a couple of weeks later, which leads to a showdown at an inner city school by 2 rival gangs. It's a good read. They turned part of it into a graphic novel, and I really would like it if they finished if they continued it. But yeah, read the Zombie Survival Guide because it's fun, but read the recorded attacks because they're even funner.
Much more funner. He wrote
Much more
World War
funner,
Z, right?
Yes, he wrote World War Z.
I thought.
Yeah, he's a really interesting guy. He's smart.
Yes, he is. Yeah, it's creepy as hell. World War Z is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go back and read that book because I only saw the movie, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh God, the movie is
not close.
dreadful.
Yeah,
movie's
movie's
like
not close.
nothing.
Movie's popcorn munching junk. It was fun.
Oh, I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was fun.
It's fun, but
The
yeah.
book is really
But
good.
the book is even better. Actually, if you can find the unabridged audio book,
that's what I'm
Really? Okay.
yeah, because it's got one hell of a cast. Like Martin Scorsese is in it.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
Both of
12
the
or
Reiners
13.
are in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
both
wow.
of them. Carl and Rob Reiner are in it. Alan Alda.
Yeah,
Very
I'm gonna hit
cool.
for that
Oh,
one.
I gotta check
Yeah.
that
Oh
out.
yeah. Find the unabridged audio book. I think that's actually the best way to get the story.
Okay.
You just rattled off a whole bunch of people that our audience has no idea.
I don't care. They're in it. They're good.
And Jude, who's absent with us tonight, but he's in the chat, says, "Watch the Queen's Gambit."
I've heard. Yeah, I gotta check it
Oh,
out.
I heard of that one too as well.
That was when I put up the chart of the top 5 streaming shows. It was the 5th.
That's the same girl that was in New Mutants.
Yep.
Yes.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Tama Joya.
She was in something else
Joy.
for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be in a remake of Nosferatu, which is never going to happen. I was really looking forward to that.
They're not making it so you can. That's why.
Exactly.
Wow. There you go.
Pablo, or should I say the wrench? What do you got for
A
us?
wrench. I'm going to go with, which I took out of the closet, was my
Oh, boy.
DVD collection, which was season 1 and 2 of the Upright Citizens Brigade,
Oh yeah.
which is hilarious
Yeah.
and
Unapologetic.
unapologetic and definitely, yeah, I giggled. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Yeah. So
Nice. For me, I don't have anything to recommend, but I would like to say that I finally got around to watching a sci-fi movie this week that I have never seen, and I hate myself for never having seen it before. It's called Arrival with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. It came out about 4 years.
saw that recently.
Yeah, I watched that.
As opposed to the Charlie Sheen one?
Yes.
I like that one too. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, boy, what a wow! I mean, Denis Villeneuve nails it again. I mean, Blade Runner 2049 and this, and it felt like Close Encounters of the Third Kind with a more
Tense. It was tense.
prescient. Yeah, and having a daughter now, I had trouble with Amy Adams' storyline of her daughter dying from cancer, and it's funny because it's nonlinear. So if I'm spoiling it for you out there, tough, because it's been out for 5 years, and I'm probably the last guy to see it anyway. The fact that it's you're watching the movie and you're like, how is she able to just do this and have these flashbacks about her daughter and like not break down, and she's focused on her job, and then you find out it's because she was having visions of the future. And the arrival is the arrival of her child, and it was just so masterfully done, and it felt like it had that early Spielberg Close Encounters vibe to it, with the mystery and the awe and the anxiety and everything that comes with first contact with aliens, and you don't know if they're going to be aggressive or if they're there peacefully. And it was just fun. It was just great. Really, really, really well done. And I really enjoyed Forrest Whitaker too. How he's playing the colonel, the U.S. colonel there, and he's constantly having to keep the warmongers at an arm's length.
Yeah, that was good.
And he's learning from the two scientists, or she's a linguist, but like, all right, I get what you're doing, but how do I explain it to these knuckleheads over here who want to just bomb the shit out of them? And it's just how he's trying to keep the peace between both sides, and he does it for like a month and a half, and then he can't do it anymore. The the warmongering humans of Earth decide, enough with this bullshit. Let's just blow them up. So fantastic movie, and I can't believe everybody told me when it came out, and it's just one of those that slipped through the cracks. So
I didn't even remember when it came out, but when they announced that Dune was being made, I was like, oh, I got to watch all the ones that this director did, and I went to Blade Runner 2049 and then this one, and I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe I missed it all this time.
yeah, and I love Amy Adams, so that was a win-win all the way around. So, all right, that's it. If you folks out there are so inclined, you can follow us on the social media. Pedro is begging you to subscribe. Please subscribe. You guys are so good at the weatherman thing. Like, I'll be pointing at Paul like, wait, I got that right.
You got that right.
Yeah, there you go.
And Stacy's got that perfectly right.
She does. That's our social at GeekTime Net. You can find us on the GeekTimeNetwork.com. Please subscribe. And, in the future, join the chat. We need more people to interact with. I remember were you with us the night, Pete? The guy from Switzerland was on there. And
no, I wasn't.
Awesome. The guy from Switzerland, he was gabbing away. And yeah, we had a good time. So
I think that was me. I called you up. That was me being the guy's name was Hans Job, right?
Yeah, it was.
No. Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
No, stop. So, Stacy, thanks for coming. I mean,
Thanks
it
for
was so
having
great
me.
to have you. You were sensational. You were
Aw.
really, really great. You brought the A game, and you're welcome every show.
Okay.
It's great to have a pragmatic person who can settle down the locker room.
Am I pragmatic? Is that what I am?
You are. No, you are. You are.
And the next
What
time,
am I?
but Stacy should come up with some categories and subjects to.
Well, that's the
talk about
thing,
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And
Yeah,
viewers, please, send stuff in. I have a story and a mascot for next week. Who's that?
I think it's
Is
Jude.
that Jude?
Oh, I don't know. It just says GeekTime Network is the person who tweeted it or Facebooked it.
That's that.
No, it's Jude.
It's Jude. He's adminning and he's in some kind of loop. So anyway, please do. And viewers, send in topic ideas. We're looking for guests. So, we're going to keep this train rolling. We got to do this every single week.
Yes.
But tonight's Tuesday night.
Tonight's Tuesday night. And Paul, thank you for joining us for the first time as well.
It was awesome.
Did you have a good time?
You don't know what I'm doing below my waist. Yes,
I don't
had
want to
a
know.
nice-
You're on my couch. I really don't want to know.
It was wonderful. That was great.
Well, again, you're welcome back anytime as well. We got to keep the train rolling, and I won't be able to participate next week, so I'm hoping somebody can be the host and drive the machine while I'm gone. So
That would be hold it that way.
we'll figure it out, right? So with that, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for donating your time to us nerds when you have so many other choices out there. We'll see you next Tuesday. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure you click the little bell icon to be notified anytime someone from our show drops new content here. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?